Are here. How the eyes? How's the headache?
Fine.
We rolling? Yep. We're ripping. Hey, ho. Well, I'll be right with you again. Herp and Ho, how you doing? It's only. Am I yelling? I can't tell. I'm sorry. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer Show podcast. Friday, let her rip. Anything goes. Of course, every day is like that. The 9th of September, show number 473, podcast. And with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire.
Present.
Wearing his Sugar Bowl national champion T-shirt. Florida State University. And the flounder of the Mechanical Mangler, a flounder at El Condo Flounder here at our makeshift El Podcast studio. Boys, any exciting news since last we met?
Well,
any off-day stuff of interest?
hell of a historic day yesterday, that was for sure.
Oh, the Queen, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll talk quite a bit about that. And I'll bet you have a whole different take on this entire incident than most of us do. But I think you have a special
I
link.
definitely have a different take than a lot of a-holes on Facebook yesterday.
Oh, my God. I mean, and still it's not. Well, we'll talk about it. Hold on. Don't jump ahead. Flounder, any exciting news last day or so?
Nothing really.
Well, that's good, though.
I woke up.
And you're working, and so,
It kind of overshadowed yesterday that the Blaukugel is back.
The Blaukungo?
The Blaukugel, the Blue Bullet, is out of the shop.
I don't know what that is.
That's my car.
Oh, your car, the Blue Bullet. Oh, you got it back.
It's back, baby, and it's terrorizing the roads. 4 brand new tires, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, and it's just, well, whatever.
Oh, by the way.
Yes.
So I go there yesterday and I go, what the hell? I don't want to put it on my credit cards.
Yeah.
So I'll just write him a check.
All right.
So I jokingly said to the guy,
Yeah.
I know it's 2022, but do you still take checks?
Yeah.
Ha ha.
Yeah.
And he says, well, we do.
But.
And I said,
Oh, my
but.
God.
He goes, you're going to be here a while because there's a whole procedure now.
We'll have to go
make
check the
sure.
bank and everything
We only
that's-
take personal checks, no business checks, and they have to go through a whole thing
my God.
to approve it. And I said, here's my card. Just
Yeah.
put it on the card.
Well, gee, it reminded me how times have changed. I will get to that when I get to reading some of the texts from our friends at the criminals at Xfinity Comcast, which I'll get to shortly. Well, it's highway robbery, what they're doing to me. I mean, that's why I call them criminals in the Kimmer sense. But first, could be the reason I'm yelling. Could be. I thought about this just coming up here this morning. Another one of the reasons why when people get older, they tend to be grumpy old men like me.
No.
Okay. As you know, I'm trying to remember, was I having hearing aid issues, my ear rockets on Wednesday at the podcast? Did I mention anything? Do you recall? Yeah. A little bit? Okay. What happened was the app on my phone, which controls the split for the hearing aids and volume and all that kind of stuff, wasn't working. It wasn't clicking into the hearing aids. I could still hear they were working, but they weren't working properly, and I couldn't adjust them. So I called the girl and said, well, come in. So I went in yesterday because she's only there, Morgan's there Tuesday and Thursday at this place where I go. So I went there at the ENT place. So I go in there, and she checks him out, and she said, did you bring your charger? And I said, no. She said, well, I need you to go home and get your charger. So then this is our so-called day off. Okay, so then I drive home, get my charger, drive back. Yes, in the meantime, she's been on the computer for an hour and a half now and she's wonderful. I love her. I just love the girl. With the computer people at the home company of the True Hearing, whatever it is. And it turns out, well, we for some reason it's not applying, it won't work, and so I'm going to send them back. In the meantime, I will give you a loaner pair of ear rockets. So I said, okay. So she clicked them in, bing, bang, boom, and gave them to me, and I went on my way. And all of a sudden this morning, I turn on the radio. I turn on the app, 106.3 app, to listen to the radio at 6 o'clock here, the morning show, and the sound is in my ear rockets. It's not coming through the phone. It's coming directly into my ears. And there's no app on it because there was no app set up for these loaners for me to change it. So no matter what I did, if I even went into another room, I was hearing the radio in my ear. I mean, it was following me around, which was very annoying, but it's a good thing if you want it to happen that way. Anyway, okay, so and then all of a sudden they died. So the right one died, and I called her and said, the right ear thing just died. I left a message to come back. Okay, well, there's nobody here right now, or will be, so maybe Monday afternoon, Tuesday. And so then an hour later, I called back and said, well, the left one just died too. So now they're both dead. So I don't have any hearing aids. I don't have any ear rockets
What?
until, excuse me? And so I'm really looking forward to not being able to talk to people, hear dialogue, watch TV, listen to the music, or do anything other than maybe play with the horses. I'm so freaking aggravated. And these were thousands of dollars not covered by Humana or Medicare A and B. You know, just like my teeth. Anyway, so I'm hearing impaired. I mean, I can still hear. I can hear things, but anyway, and you know, and I'm just the whole thing. I'm just ticked off. I mean, it's one more. Yeah, see, there you go. It's just one more thing. You know, okay. And by the way, I'm not going to grouse and grump all day, but I have to get this off my chest.
Trust?
Okay. Remember the other day we talked about my Comcast bill just went
Yes,
to
sir.
$300.
Yes, sir.
People watching our Facebook and YouTube live feed, thank you, by the way. God bless you. And don't forget to go on the what do you call it, YouTube thing and click on subscriber. And that adds numbers for us, but you don't have to pay anything. It's free. You don't have to do it again. Anyway, thank you. TheKimmerShow.net sends you all that stuff. So we were talking about that, and my friend Kevin, my Delta pilot, texted me, and he said he talked again about this Fire Stick business. He said for like $30 you get a Fire Stick. You don't need a new TV. You don't need a big time TV. But I don't know what I mean. There's got to be some trick to it. You can't tell me that for $30 you can stop paying $300 a month and get all the things you get now. I don't believe it. But he said they say it's anyway. So I'm thinking about that. In the meantime, I called Comcast. Okay, when's the last time you've called a cable company? It's worse than it was. There's not even a prompt anymore to speak to an account representative. Press 0.
You know what they want you to do?
Yeah.
Go with your
That's
remote
right.
and go on the television.
That's
and
right.
Do it.
Well, I don't have the remote for the television because I don't have the smart TV and I don't have the new box. I have the old box because I have 80 hours of programming on it that I want to save. And if you take it in for the new one, you don't get this. They kill it.
Okay.
Anyway, all right, okay. So I called Comcast, and it took probably 15 or 20 minutes to finally get to a human, and I had to fake it in order to get to the human. And the lady said, and I complained $300 a month through day. She says, okay, well, that was because that was the promo area. And now, do you still want to use your house phone? I said, I don't have a house phone. Oh, she said, that was part of the promo, was a discount for house phones. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. House phone. I have a cell phone. Oh, well, that's different. So she finagled. She told me she could get me down to only $265 a month for my internet and TV, and that's without Cinemax. That's without the movie channel starts with S. I can't remember the fucking name of it. Stars. No more. They took those away and jacked up the price. Anyway, so I sued 6, and I said, okay. I said, well, now what do I have to do? I said, can you just say, okay, we're in? She said, well, I have to read you this document, and you have to agree to it. And I said, okay, that's fine. So she said, okay, now I'm gonna give you the document here in a second. Okay, I'm gonna pause. A couple minutes go by. Are you still there? Yes, sir. Still. Pause. Just a second. Says, okay, I just sent it. And she sent me something on an email and cut me off the phone. So I suddenly had, after all this time on the phone, I had to go back to the email on my phone. And now check this out. I'm reading on my phone. Hi, Kim. I'm Xfinity Assistant. I can help with the billing question you called about. Just visit HTTPS. Ba-dum. And then she sent it again. Hi, I'm Xfinity Assistant so-and-so with a different texting address. Okay, so I hit the texting address, and it had me try to sign in, and I signed in with my phone number, and it said, oh, that's not valid phone number. So I signed in with my Kimmer email address. Oh, that's not a valid thing either. So I can't even sign in to my own thing, which they know because they have me on record in there. Okay, all right, okay. So finally, I'm saying, all right, you know what? I'm sorry. I'll try to keep this shorter than it is right now. So I'm saying to myself, all right, I'll just freaking go in there. I'm going to go in there. I brought my bills in the car.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk
At
in
North
the door.
Point, right?
At North Point
Yeah,
Mall. I'm
yeah.
going to walk in the freaking door. Now, here's the fun part. After that, I get a text. And it says, hold on a sec. Oh, no, that's not it. Hold on. Sorry. I got it right here. I swear to God. Here we go. I got a text, and it says, hi, Xfinity here. Please provide feedback on your most recent experience with Xfinity. Thinking about your phone call with us. How likely are you to recommend Xfinity to friends and family? Reply from 0, not at all, likely, to 10, extremely likely. Message and data rates apply, stop to end messages. So I put 0. That's how likely I am to recommend them anybody. And then they text it back. And this is all on my phone, texting, no human. We'd love to know more. Can you tell us a little bit about why you answered 0 as your likelihood to recommend Xfinity? To skip, enter 1. So I wrote down, call me. And then they wrote back, did we resolve your issue? Reply with yes or no. So I replied no. And then they replied back, thanks for your feedback. If you have any other questions about our service, just ask them here and I'll get the answers you need. I mean, it's unfreaking believable.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
so
know.
freaking angry.
I know.
I mean, what a way to start. I mean, this is my day. This is what, I mean, it's just like every freaking day there's something like this.
I know.
What the hell's going on? I want my life back.
I'm just thinking about the poor listener here.
I'm so sorry.
Because they all have had to do this in their life. They all had to deal with Comcast or AT&T or somebody screwing them over.
But it's worse.
And they come to this podcast to get some relief from that, and you just made them relive it.
I know. All right, I got a couple.
The next thing out of your mouth better not be a complaint.
All right, no, it's different. It's all going to be different. I swear to God. In fact, now somebody. Oh, wait a minute. Now who's doing this with
All
my
right,
thing?
Kimmer has finally lost himself at Atlanta Custom Closets, ClosetPro.net. He went into the closet. We can't find him. 404-255-0589. That's how deep the closets they make can be. Atlanta Custom Closets, ClosetPro.net. What incredible people they are at Atlanta Custom
They are
Closets.
wonderful people and great sponsors of our Kimmer Show podcast. I'm very grateful. A couple of quick things. I got a couple of really interesting memes, and one of them was a great idea. I think it was from Brandon or Brad. I can't remember which one. I'm sorry. I get so many messages. I get them mixed up. And it was a picture of a group of adults in lawn chairs at night. Sitting in like a parking lot, like 8 or 10 people. You may have seen it on the message page. I think it was a message page. It might have been just mine personal. Anyway, so it's a group of adults at night, laughing, having fun, sitting in long chairs around in a parking lot area someplace. And the text says, this is what everybody should do at every drop box location for this coming election. To have people there at the drop boxes to see who's dropping off 200 envelopes.
You know that they'll come out with some kind of ordinance that says you're intimidating voters.
Right, I know.
Even though that's not technically a voting thing,
Well,
is it?
no, absolutely. It's not, that's not voting. That's just, you voted
government
when you filled it
property.
out.
It's government property?
And by the way, again, I just heard a discussion on this again yesterday about the video that shows a woman who drove up to a Dropbox location, got a big box of things at the Dropbox location, went back to her car, and was signing all the documents. And then brought them back into the Dropbox.
Nothing probably.
And they're saying, oh, well, that's one incident. That didn't affect the election. Isolated.
They love
incident.
that word.
That
Isolated
didn't
incident.
affect the. Oh my God! But again, have Dropbox parties. What a great idea! Just say, yeah, we see you had the one envelope. Good for you, and get their license plates. And see how many other. Remember, they did a study that showed all the license plates. They followed their cell phones, the dings on the cell phones, and people went to like 15 different Dropbox locations. Well, how do you explain that?
I know.
Anyway, one more thing, and this is a non-Comcast Xfinity rant of any kind, or hearing aid rant of anything, or me falling apart rant, or my teeth rant, or anything else rant. I got a very nice note here from Christopher, or Jeff. It's either Jeff or Christopher shared it and commented. Christopher wrote in and said, I just wanted to share this with you. I just scared the crap out of my dog. While relaxing after work, I was sitting quietly and watching The Five. Coming back from a commercial break, they played the CCR, the Creedence Clearwater Revival bumper that opened your show. It used to be Around the Bend. I busted out with my best DJ, herp, 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 out here, like that. And he said, my dog, a female 65-pound black lab, jumped about 2 feet out of my lap. And then he says, still miss you guys in the afternoon drive, even though my drive is only about 20 minutes now. And I replied back, thanks, great memories of a better time, back when radio was a lot more fun than it is now. And Christopher wrote back, yeah, totally missed the cadence. Used to open the windows and crank up the station in afternoon traffic. It was awesome to watch the commies freak out, LOL, Christopher Reed. And again, I don't do the herping at home because it's really loud, and I don't want to do it here at Flounders.
Maybe someday.
Well, if we ever get back in the studio, I'll actually, Flounder, if we ever get back in the studio, I'll tape a good Herbert and Hohen with music and everything, and we can, so because I don't want to offend all your neighbors and stuff. Anyway, thank you, Christopher and Jeff. That was very nice. Okay, all right, hold on a second here. Oh, also, I got a tremendous amount of feedback on Facebook. My daughter Sarah sent me a picture of what their Australian Ridgeback dog Wilson did to the dinosaur toy I brought him when I went to visit them out in Colorado. Torn to shreds. It's only a matter of time. Every dog that gets a toy will eventually rip it to shreds. I mean, with very rare exceptions. Anyway, the silly thing, I put the picture on Facebook. Tons and tons from all over the world, Facebook messages of people, doing it. I thought it was kind of fun. But I'm going to, in fact, Brady's birthday is coming up this month. And I've already given him his present. I'm going to send him another present, obviously. And I'm also going to send another dog toy for Wilson, the same one. We'll go get another one because my favorite ex-wife texted back and said, "Thank God, I hated the noise in that thing. A stolen free awful was just horrible." So, because it's those squeak toys are very annoying. Yeah.
And they'll look at you while they're doing it.
Yeah, oh yeah, and they play a little. I mean, it's just I miss dogs. I just miss everything. I miss dogs, cats. In fact, you're going to talk about dogs, cats later. I saw a little note of some kind about you. Perhaps in a whole different way. Let's see. A couple things. Listen, Bonnie. Drop boxes, that's a good one. Survey, got that. Chris Reed. Okay, we'll talk about the BYU racial slur business. Here we go with the donut shop or the bakery once again.
Prove it. It happened.
Unbelievable. We'll get to it.
They're attacking because it's easy. It's like one of the BYU students said, "We're an easy target."
Yeah,
we're an easy target. People can always dump on us.
It's the easy, but the other thing is, it's the easy assumption. Jesse Smollett. Oh my God, MAGA supporters at 3:00 in the morning with 7 below zero temperature. We're out waiting for you at the submarine shop and beat you up and then put a noose around your neck. Yeah, I believe that. Come on. I mean, it's just the immediate assumption.
9 times out of 10, these are all hoaxes. 9 times out of 10, it turns out to be either mentally ill or they're trying to cover up something.
We'll talk about it in case, just for the record, let's do this now. A woman basketball player was from Duke. Again, Duke, the lacrosse scandal with the hookers and so forth. Anyway, a woman basketball player at Duke claims that playing against BYU at a tournament that was on television. I don't think it was nationally. It was, I believe it was on TV. Anyway, she claims that they were using racial slurs in the stands against her.
Yeah, but who else
at BYU, Brigham Young University, which, first of all, doesn't sound real likely. I mean, I think most of them don't even have sex or drink on campus.
I think things have changed.
Well, I think they have to have changed, but still, I mean, it's probably, as straight-laced places go, it's probably on the top ranking of the straight-laced. Anyway, I mean, it didn't sound immediately reasonable off the bat, but it could, maybe somebody said it. It could happen. Anyway, so some BYU said, "Well, wait a minute. Well, let's investigate the hell out of this." When the girl complained, her coach then said, "Well, we're not playing BYU, and we're not going to that campus anymore. We're canceling our tournament, and the girls aren't going to go." All of a sudden, the state legislature saying, "Wait, what's going on here? We need to investigate this entire thing." So now the state legislature is investigating the whole situation with Duke and BYU, and BYU says, "Hold everything."
Sure it's Duke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw that. In fact, double check your phone because it was just in the Fox feed.
I thought it was South Carolina, but maybe you're right.
I thought it was South Carolina too, but I honestly just saw a thing on the Fox or news thing, and it said Duke.
Duke. Wouldn't surprise me. I just was under the impression it was South
BYU debunks Duke volleyball player.
All right,
Did I say basketball? I think I said it was volleyball player. Yeah. Anyway, so BYU said, "Well, we'll get to the bottom of this." So BYU had all the student body to send them all their phone videos of the entire freaking contest, and everything's on a phone video. Mm-hmm. Somebody's got it on their phone, and there was not one single possible utterance of anything that sounded like a racial slur. And by the way, they somebody at the university or on the team singled out a student, and as I recall, I don't think I'm getting this backwards. BYU banned that student was accused. I believe the initial thing that happened. This was some time ago. BYU told the student he was banned from any future athletic activities. Then it turned out they investigated. BYU investigated more about that and said, "Oh my God, he didn't do anything," and they apologized to the student at BYU. That's how far this has traveled to like stage 4 of this business.
At what point, though, in this side, do we quit believing the accuser immediately?
Yeah,
that we
she's
say,
black.
Okay, first of all, she's not out there on the court by herself.
Yeah, I know.
There's several other girls
Did her
out there.
teammates
Did anybody
stop?
else hear?
No,
has anyone said anything?
I
Did
know.
any of the other girls hear?
It's the easy assumption.
Only she heard?
That's right. If it's racist, man, and again, that's all they have to fight with now.
They want.
It's either Donald Trump or racism, and that's all they have. They can't brag about their accomplishments for the Democrat Party.
Right.
Again,
It's
these
a
are all
disaster.
Democrats. These are all liberals doing this. There they are now.
Exploding things. They're stabbing journalists in Las Vegas, for God's sake.
They're outside protesting at this very moment.
Well, what kills me? Okay, this would be easy to prove. Easy to prove. Who else heard it?
Yeah. Anybody?
No one
Step forward.
All I know is one person claimed to hear it on a volleyball court.
I know.
And it's not like it's packed, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But, you could hear someone saying something.
I honestly, it's unbelievable. And now there's actually investigation. I mean,
I hope they investigate it.
Exploding.
Because it's probably bullshit.
Well, in fact, my little friend Gretchen a story was in. I didn't see it on the news, and she sent it on emailed a story about Jennifer. Or who's the actress? God darn it!
Jane Fonda.
No. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence. And she was being interviewed somewhere, or maybe it was in Vanity Fair. She was an article somewhere or interviewed somewhere, and she said. The gist of it was, as I recall, the gist of it was she almost can't even get together with her family anymore and her close friends because they're so different because of politics. Yeah. And you can't talk again.
It's not
I'll
them,
look at
it's
these
her.
people and say, I don't like what you stand for. I think you're deliberately lying about what I stand for. You're trying to split my country. You're trying to turn people against me. Yep. And if you notice, President Showers with daughter is now getting even more specific because they finally called him on it. First, President Potato Head was saying, well, you Trump supporters are in favor of political violence to get your way, you Trump supporters. Then he had to say, you MAGA Trump supporters are the ones who you love political violence and you're trying to destroy America and kill our democracy. And now it's you ultra MAGA Trump supporters because they've had to say, Mr. President, you're talking about everybody who voted for Trump, and so now but what an empty-headed, vicious, hate-filled attacker. I mean, I'm so freaking angry about this, and he's doubling down and saying it even louder and louder. Turning half the country against us.
It works to bring Trump up. That's all they have.
That's all they have. They're everything, and again, everything is Trump. All this school stuff, it's all hatred. It all started with Donald Trump coming down the escalator. I mean, that's where it began. And he made a couple of idiot comments, that the press ran with, and it was over from the first week. So anyway, the BYU thing, and again, I hear the bakery, I heard the guys, who does the noon show on 106.3, Clay and Buck or somebody, yeah, and they were saying, they were giving an update, and I haven't seen it, that bakery in Ohio at Oberlin University, a bakery in Ohio caught a black student stealing. Mm-hmm. They locked the doors, called the cops. The student went back to Oberlin and said, those racists got me because I'm black. Yeah. So Oberlin College banned the students from going to the bakery, condemned them in editorials, called them racist, wanted them shut down, basically ruined their business. Well, that bakery was just awarded $37 million from Oberlin University.
Yeah, but the old, they've been around for over 100 years. The old couple that it happened to are all now both dead. Yeah. They never saw justice.
Right.
Because two black students claimed racism because they dared to look at them and say, you can't steal.
They died being accused of being racists and knowing that they weren't. I mean, that's even worse. It's one thing if, you got caught. Oh, crap, I'm a convicted criminal and they caught me. I'm going to die a convicted criminal. They didn't do anything.
All they're doing is running a bakery.
And their lives were ruined. Their business was ruined. Their lives were ruined. Their reputation was ruined. Had to go hire lawyers and go to court. And now, and of course, they're going to appeal at Oberlin, $37 million. You don't think they're going to just write them a check?
No, I think
so
they've lost finally, and they've agreed to pay it. I think
they
that's
have.
where we are
Well,
now. This has been going on for 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe if that's the end, maybe that's the really good news. That's the final decision. Good. I mean, and you know, frankly, here's the other thing. I heard Tucker last night. This is such a great idea. Tucker was talking last night about there's a house and common area on the Berkeley University campus in San Francisco, California, Berkeley, California. And they call it Berkeley for very good reason. That place is just, anyway. Okay, so there is now a common area at one of the student housing areas in the entire common area, which is now off limits to white people. They actually have notices put up saying, to all our visitors, you should understand that this is an area where people of color have come to feel safe from white supremacy. And therefore, please pay attention to their concerns in case you bring any white visitors to our campus. Holy shit!
Separate but equal.
Now, and Tucker. I mean, I don't know why we didn't think of this. Tucker Carlson said, "Well, all right, let's do this. Let's have an old-fashioned lunch counter sit-in." And have all the white people. I really didn't think about 1966 Alabama or so. You know what I mean? I mean, really. And have all the white students, young students, come and sit and demand to be treated equally. We demand justice. We demand our rights. We demand end of racism. I mean, do a whole thing. Just stay there, camp there, do the whole freaking protest like they used to in the 60s for the white students to demand racial equality, and then see whether President Showers with daughter calls out the freaking National Guard. Let's see if he sends the troops on them to get them off of the lunch counters at the Berkeley common area. God, but I love this. I'm glad we would go there and do our show from there.
They already have black-only areas in every major city in the country. It's called downtown.
Yeah, it's called the areas where they live. Yeah. And again, look at the news. If you watch the Al Jazeera Constitution, the whole second section is all black people committing crimes. I mean, it's all the
local news.
It's unbelievable. Oh, God. Anyway, I thought, what a great idea. Have an old-fashioned lunch counter sit-in and make them send the freaking police to drag them out of there and see if they have any, bull counter German shepherds. No, of course not. But again, wouldn't that be hysterical? And then they would have to compare the old days of this, and have the students protest. Whoa, this is what we did in old pictures of what they did in 1963.
The media would claim they're Klansmen and neo-Nazis.
The ultra MAGA supporters.
They're in there to terrorize the poor boy.
Yeah, but again, I thought, man, what a great idea. What a great idea, Tucker. You
magnificent bastard.
I read your book. All right, hold on a second. I want to talk about the opening of the NFL season. Also, the Camp Lejeune ads. I got some issues. But first, a reminder, if you go to thekimmershow.net, if you can get an address to send us a check if you'd like. In fact, I've got to order new thank you notes. I just ran out of thank you notes, mostly to Denise. I'm trying to go like every 3 days.
Like a pen pal.
God bless you, my dear girl. But anyway, so I've got to get a new supply of thank you notes. But again, you can get in touch with us that way, thekimmershow.net, or if you'd like to be a sponsor, such as our friends at M&S Title Pawn. And I say it like that because the name of the company involves the letters M and the letter S. So it's M&S Title Pawn. And they are in beautiful downtown Bremen, Georgia at 306 Laurel Street, Suite A. They're open for you to come in and wander around and see what's going on or how they can help you or you can help them Monday through Saturday in person. They have a phone number. I'd love to talk to you. If you want to check something in advance, here's the area code, 678-821-3337. And again, the name of the company is M&S Title Pawn. Now, if you want to look them up on the web, you put those letters together so it would spell manstitle.com, M-A-N-D-S title.com. See, manstitle.com. M&S Title Pawn in beautiful Bremen, Georgia. Ba-doom bum. Flounder's doing something else. He didn't give us our cue.
By the way, Mark wanted me to ring the bell during your Comcast rant.
Well, I thought that was just, I mean, isn't that, well, now see, maybe that, all right. Well, yeah, all right. Now I don't know what to do. Now I don't want to say anything.
Do something nice.
I just did. Didn't I do something nice? I thought I did something nice. Oh, my God.
It's Friday.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Well, now here's another little grumpy thing, and I'll bring it up just for the record. As you know, we've been talking about this business with the Camp Lejeune ads. If you've heard Camp Lejeune in the water, and okay.
There's a meme out there of Medea, Tyler Perry. She's cocking a gun. She goes, play that Camp Lejeune commercial one more time.
Well, popped up on my phone was one of those ads for the Camp, call a law firm, call this number to sign up with a law firm for the Camp Lejeune ads. And it was a shot of the case with the Purple Heart medal in it. Yeah. Okay. I hope that you're not telling me that you will award somebody a Purple Heart because they may have had cancer 35 years after they were at Camp Lejeune?
I don't know. Maybe.
That is not what the Purple Heart is for. I think they were using it to get the attention from people saying, ooh, maybe I can get a Purple Heart if I sign up for this Camp Lejeune lawyer thing.
Well, that's one lawyer firm doing it. Go to another lawyer firm.
Well, in fact, I tried to call to see what the company was because I was going to complain about them and tell them to take that off there. That's totally misleading. It's offensive to people who freaking have one. Yeah. Anyway, and so I called the number, or I texted, whatever, I hit the thing, whatever it was, and it popped up on the screen, my name, my phone number, and my address. So I'm already in their file just by hitting reply, and then I immediately exited out, so I couldn't. But I never found out who it was.
They could probably get the records of everyone who's ever served in the Marines.
Well, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, and again, here's the other thing, and
I'm surprised they haven't mailed out to every.
Well, okay, if this is part of that taxation business, the bill they just passed, I mean, I'm not exactly sure what part of the budget this came from. If they're going to spend this, I mean, if you really are telling me that recruits who drank the water for a few weeks at Camp Lejeune 40 years later can get money because of health problems, then, how about take that money and just help the veterans with their car loans or their house notes or their medical bills? Or, I mean, just give it to the veterans to, you know who they are. You've got records of them. But there ought to be a fund for us to apply. If you're a veteran and you're out of work or you lost your job and you're doing things, you put a bing, bang, boom, instead of trying to have you fill up with 5,000 different law firms begging you to sign up for them. I mean, this turns out, it looks like it's a law firm thing.
What's the matter with you? Are you trying to equate soldiers and Marines that serve their country with gender studies students that signed for their own free will?
They ring the bell. Ring the bell. There you go.
Next. This would be like, what was it, PTI, where you just ring the bell and you got to shut up and we'll move on to the next one.
Get the hook connection.
Cindy says, Cindy goes, Kimmer with issues. Super Grump has returned.
Oh, Cindy. I love that name because that was my first true love. But I'm beginning to be a little.
If there's someone out there with the name Cindy that can throw something his way so he can shut up about this.
I loved her so much.
You have never slept with a Cindy, obviously.
I've never slept with a girl named Cindy. Well, now wait a minute. What's your number?
I'm going back to the memory files.
Do you have a number?
I'm
trying to figure out your number.
I don't think I've ever slept with a Cindy. Flounder?
Flounder, ever slept with a girl named
Ever
Cindy?
dated a Cindy? Or?
No, I'm not sure if I could. That's my mom's name.
Oh, yeah, that would.
Oh, that's right, too.
God,
forgive me. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine, but
your mom would get a kick out of this. And by the way, I did kiss your mother on the cheek once, so there you are. So, anyway.
I was lucky. My mother's name was Doris, so you don't meet many Dorises these days. Your mother's name was?
Jean. My father's name was Gene, Gene. My mother's name was Jen, Gene. My firstborn older brother was Gene the second.
You don't meet a lot of
So when they
Genes.
called the phone and said, "May I speak to Gene, please?" We'd say, "There's three of them."
You meet a lot of guys named Gene. You don't meet a lot of women named Gene.
No, not anymore.
My great aunt was Mary Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't have
Gene Stapleton. Try and name another famous Gene.
Gene Arthur. I mean, old-time actresses.
Ago,
Gene. Oh, who was the Gene, the dancer? Sid, not Sid Cerise. Gene. I can't remember. Anyway, God, I'm not. Cindy, see, Cindy got me distracted.
Sure.
I've been thinking about my true love, Cindy, when I was 17.
Cindy says, make sure she's red-headed.
Oh well, no. I know this. I'll bet this
Charlie
is Cindy
Brown?
the car girl. Ask her see if this is Cindy the car girl.
Cindy, Cindy, are you the car girl?
Yeah. Well, she can hear us, right? I guess she's watching live.
Well,
Because I think there was a Cindy who sent me like a hot rod car picture several months ago or weeks ago. I'll bet you. Anyway, okay, let's do this. Let's talk about the NFL season. But first, Holy Crap at Sports, best sports podcast later on today.
Yeah, because baseball is probably going to change a lot of their rules for next year, so I was going to wait till that came down.
Like what?
The pitch clock will be in, the bigger bases.
Bigger bases?
Yeah, they're going to go
make it easier to steal.
Pillows. Yeah, I think.
How many plays at the base are off by an inch or two? How much bigger are they going to make it?
Well, and make it
that
easier
could
to hold
everything.
on to. Because this crap about your hand coming
true.
up for an inch and then they're tagging you.
Yeah, that's
crap.
right. Yeah, that's bullshit.
So are you for these changes?
Yeah, so far. Let me see if they get it. Okay, they have approved the sweeping rule changes. Let me tell you exactly what they are.
And again, Holy Crap at Sports later on today. You'll want to hear this.
Okay. Pitch clock. They're going to ban defensive shifts. No more of these shifts where everybody's on the right side or the left side. But you know what we're going to have? We're going to have the guy.
He's going to be right.
As soon as the pitch goes.
Yeah, he's going to go over there. Yeah. Well, the first baseman does it when he's got a guy on first.
But no more seeing Austin Riley when it's 2 strikes on a guy
going to second base,
from third base to short right field, which is fine with me.
Yeah.
Why don't hitters take advantage of that more?
Well, and Freddie Freeman pointed this out. He says it's not as easy as it looks. They're throwing 99 and it's moving.
And it's moving.
Now, as a major leaguer, you should be able to do it.
No, you can't.
But instead of swinging and having great hits in the
just have a bunt or a half
trying.
swing.
Right.
You do, but that's not. People
not
don't want to see that.
Right. They don't
want
want
to
see
see bunts.
Dipply
and they don't want to see this, doing this the other way.
Yeah.
It's not fun to watch, they claim.
Now,
I don't mind it, but I'm a true baseball fan.
But at the end of the day, if it's going to give you a win, it's going to give you a win.
They want triples and doubles and home runs is what they want.
Well, the problem...
And more hits. And more action.
Yeah. And again, this is because of TV. I don't think it's... Although the Braves are going to set another attendance record at home. I mean, so
we're second only to the Dodgers.
which is fantastic. So, I mean, you got to... I mean, I'm frankly surprised as hell.
Well, remember all those people that were saying, you can't move from downtown. Nobody's going to... The traffic's too bad. You're not going to go up to Cobb County. Well, bull.
Guess what?
Yeah.
They're going to make. They've got 3 million people, for God's sakes.
I applauded the move, frankly. Get the hell out of that place.
Yeah, in terms of changing the game, the problem with it, I don't think there was ever a rule that said you have to have a first baseman, a second baseman. It just had you had 9 guys. And 3 bases, in between the 3 bases and the outfield lines, you got to have 9 players. I mean, don't they have extra in softball? Don't you have like a midfielder on the short, shallow stuff?
What do they call that? The guy who's running around, rovers, the rovers.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, but I don't know that there was ever a rule that said they had to be a second baseman had to play near second base. It's just 9 people on the field.
It was good though for the fans to be able to keep score.
Oh, I agree.
To be able to
absolutely
watch the game.
You
had set positions.
You had to have
who's the greatest second baseman? Who's the greatest?
I agree. I completely agree. I'm just saying it's kind of a shame that now. Well, I don't know. Frankly. I hate watching the shift because it's a good chance the guy's not going to hit it. He's going to hit into it, and they're going to get an out.
We need more hits.
It's just it's not cheating, but it's sure taking advantage of the rule. And now they made the change.
I didn't mind a shortstop and second baseman being on the same side. What I minded was the guy in short right field. I don't mind. I don't want a guy out in short right field. It's not
that's
softball.
Yeah, that's wiffle ball for God's sakes. Yeah.
By the way, Cindy says she's our tax lady.
Oh, that's Cindy.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Cindy.
She's the good Cindy.
That's the real good Cindy.
Best Cindy.
Well, I didn't know she was such a negative camera person here.
No, she's not. She's just pointing out.
I think I maybe check my taxes next year.
Realities here. She can keep doing mine.
I think this could be a bad sign. Remember those deductions you used to get? No, I swear to God, I'll stop talking.
Okay, what Kimmer says does not necessarily reflect the views and
Pete
opinions
Davis
of everybody else on the show.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, on Holy Crap at Sports, the NFL season began on a Thursday night.
It usually does. It usually does now.
Well,
in fact, sometimes they have 2 games. Or Monday night.
Okay, I don't like it.
Well, the thing is they always start the season. I asked the same question this morning, and they always start with the best. I mean, there was not a World Series, but the Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl champion, yeah.
But then every Thursday game after that usually sucks.
Yeah. Well, nobody. I mean, the only people who like Thursday games are people who like to watch football on Thursday nights. But the coaches don't like it. The players don't like it. It's unfair advantage and disadvantage for every team every week. Somebody gets screwed on practice time and travel time.
That used to be college football. Weird.
Yeah, right.
And now it's NFL.
I don't like it. I think it's wrong. I think it's just done for TV money. There's no question about it. It's all just revenue. It's greed. It's not like they need the I don't get any of it. I don't like it.
It's football almost every night.
But again, I think it's wrong. Yeah, and again, I don't give a crap about the NFL anymore after what they started with this woke business. But I think, and I did watch to see if the national anthem was going to be butchered, and the girl was okay. She did a little warbling at the end there, but I don't. They all do it, so what the hell? I'm not going to complain about it. But what really got me was when that anarchist, the seditionist, the traitor to his country, The Rock, all of a sudden was featured as the welcoming king to the football season or something. And they showed him with all his big muscle-bound steroid freak. And he was screaming something about "stomp your feet." Nobody paid attention. There was no crowd cheering to react to him. It's like they never heard him. If they just showed the crowd, there was 5 or 6 seconds of just crowd noise, and then the announcer said, "Well, I guess we're off. Here we go with the NFL season." I mean, it was just, and as far as I'm concerned, The Rock deliberately slandered you and me and anybody else who voted for Donald Trump. The Rock came out during the last presidential at the very end using all his influence to label all of us traitors and killers and white supremacists. And I mean, he did everything he could to divide the country. And I won't watch another thing with a Rock in it. And as far as I'm concerned, he was responsible for the attempted coup for the last several years. So he's not getting any of my freaking respect. Yeah. And by the way, here's the other thing. I mentioned this on the radio call-in this morning. And again, it's a nitpick. But, I am who I am, and I'm not going to change. Watching when they're playing the national anthem, and they showed pictures, they take pictures of the players and the people, the staff behind them. Almost every player I saw was, had his hands in his collar or up at his helmet or his shoulder pads. He was rocking back and forth. They're getting, getting all pumped up and stuff during the national anthem. Behind them, the staff members by the water barrels are all standing at attention with their hands on their hearts. Because clearly they were said, let's do the national anthem like we're supposed to. And the players just ignore the way you're supposed to play the national anthem. What does it take for a minute 30 to have you get ready before you come out of the locker room and stand there at attention with your freaking helmet over your hand over your freaking heart for a minute 30? Is that really so hard? You freaking pretentious, spoiled bastards. It's the national anthem.
They're basically about the level of bags of sand. It's enough just to get them out there with clothes on.
Honestly,
but you know what? It's just you can bitch about all you want. I've noticed that since I was a kid.
I know.
It always irked me when one wasn't paying attention or chewing gum or something like that. They've been doing that for 70 years.
But now it's all. Now it's even. But my problem is that everything I've mentioned today has been because it's even worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
You know what? I mean, really, everything I've said today has been like 4 steps more than it used to be. We're going the wrong way.
And why? Democrats.
Because of Democrats.
Always goes back
Although,
to Democrats.
my God, 2 Cobb County deputies got murdered in an ambush in Marietta by Democrats who set them up, serving a warrant. Those are all Democrats.
Memphis.
All those
and
Memphis, Tennessee, Democrats. And this guy in Memphis, oh my God! In fact, I've got that in here coming up a little bit later on. We'll get to it in a second. Yeah, what's he? 18, 19 years old now? He's still a freaking teenager. God Almighty!
But the no fear of cops driving around, putting up TikTok videos, said how
streaming it.
They're going to kill grandmothers with their kids in their car, and with no fear whatsoever, because of who they are.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a second. One more quick football thing. I realized, in fact, I was listening to the morning guys on the radio this morning talking about this too. I don't know how to play fantasy football. In other words, I don't get what you do. In other words,
you pick a team and you hope those guys perform well that weekend.
Yeah, but
for the whole
season.
season.
How do you grade? I mean, I don't know what that means.
You get with your friends and you have a draft, just like the real guys do, and you draft certain players. You have to have like 2 quarterbacks, like 3 or 4 wide receivers, blah blah. Everybody has their own different things, as Jock Peterson.
Yeah, but how do you
out.
judge them?
By what they did that week. Did they score a touchdown? Did they get so many yards? Did they catch so many passes?
So if my wide receiver gets fewer yards than your wide receiver, then you won the wide receiver
yeah,
bet.
It's all points based.
Points.
Oh God!
People are addicted. See, I don't get into it because I know I will go nuts about it, and that every single game I'll be sitting there stressing out about it.
When you're not actually
no
just enjoy the game.
Yeah. Well, if I ever do it, I'll just fill it out at the beginning and set it aside, not look at it, and at the end of the year, look at it and go, "Oh, okay."
I don't even know how you do it.
What you'd have to do is
you have to have friends that you do join it with, or you can go on the site.
Yeah, you can go.
And
there's ways you
places.
can. It's automated.
But how do you bid on a player?
Well,
I mean,
how
do you pick a player?
Go on FanDuel or DraftKings, and they'll show you.
No, I'm not.
It's really easy.
And none of it ever made any sense, and I don't know who ever thought of it. I assume somebody's making $1 million off all this stuff.
It's a $1 billion industry.
It started in somebody's basement in Green Bay or Pittsburgh back in the 60s or 70s.
There was a video on Twitter this past weekend where a group of guys who've known each other for 20 years, they went to Mexico. They went to like Cancun and like it was 15 of them and did a whole weekend just to do their draft.
Yeah, they get together and they shut the girls out. Or they let the girls in. I don't know.
Well, God bless America. You know,
it's like gambling. If I'm putting money on a game, and every once in a while I will with friends or something. It just drives me crazy the whole game.
Yeah, I know. I don't. And I'm a terrible gambler. I don't. I just throw it away. Throw it out the window. It's the same thing. Well, really, it's a lot less stress, and it's the same result.
You want to hear something funny about throwing things out the window?
Yeah.
One of the things, the reason my car's in the shop for a few days, was I had to change the grills, the gills, as I call them, on the side, the air intakes, suck the air right into the engine.
Right.
And at first they said it was because, and I noticed this a couple years ago, that sometimes there's a noise and you look, there's little pebbles that have popped up from the road and have gone into it.
There's leaves and there's
you
twigs.
You got to reach in there and pull them out. Well, so they decided to put a mesh on there to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
So I went, and then a few months later, I got another recall saying you need to come back and put the mesh on. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, we just did that, right? So I talked to the guy, and he finally admitted that we don't have the problem here in America because smoking's down, kind of. But in Germany, where they're still
cigarette
smoking,
butts?
They're still smoking like chimney. In fact, I still have a cigarette lighter in the car. A cigarette lighter in the car.
I don't. No, I don't.
People in Germany were throwing their cigarettes out the window, which you shouldn't do, and it was being
and
sucked
the butts
up
were going into the filters of the cars,
and catching the engines on fire.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
Hey guys, we're kind of embarrassed about German engineering kind of missed that.
Oh my God!
Yeah, we were laughing our ass off. Yeah, so they had to change it, and they finally admitting, it's really the cigarettes.
Oh well, in Europe, everybody.
Did you have to take your car in then?
Well, I had to get the oil change, the 4-year inspection, which took 4 new tires. And I waited, and I said, I need to retrofit. He goes, this will be the second one because...
oh, man.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
It doesn't happen very often, but by God, that was funny.
Because of all the smoking. I don't even know if I know anybody who smokes. You have a cigarette a year or something, don't you? Isn't that you, or is that Flounder?
I have a cigar a year, maybe.
Anyway, I can't remember. Anyway.
Someone gave me a cigar after the Braves won the World Series, and I've yet to smoke it.
Well, in fact, I got some, and I think I gave them to you, or maybe it was Hangman, or you. I thought I gave them away to you guys.
Right after I got it, they basically said we couldn't smoke anymore in the complex, but now they've kind of eased it. Oh, by the way, not only can I get high walking down the hallways again,
I can't smoke on the con.
But
right.
I walk up and down Glenridge sometimes around dusk or something like that. I don't know if it's the cars going by that are doing it, or it's the condos or the houses or the apartments or the Indian consulate that I'm walking by, but everybody's smoking.
High. Are you serious?
It's either that or somebody's growing.
Well, no, it's smoke. I can smell it walking down the street.
Are you talking about weed or cigarettes?
Weed.
Yeah, well.
It's amazing. It's like every third car.
Oh, man. One more quick sports thing. I just wanted to salute an
How can this country be so divided and at each other's throats if everybody's high as a kite?
They're the ones who aren't, I guess. A salute to an old friend, Tim Weinhardt, an old golfing buddy, who won, again, his 4th Georgia PGA section title. And there are very few people who have ever pulled that off. And I used to play golf with him years and years ago. He's a good friend of Danny McLefty. I'm a PGA member also, and a whole bunch of us used to all get together. Winey is now the instructor at the Weinhardt Golf Academy at Heritage Golf Links in Tucker. He used to play there quite a bit 2 years ago. Haven't seen him in a while, a couple of years. Great golfer. Danny and I, in fact, followed him when he played the tournament at Callaway Gardens. The PGA tournament was down there. We followed him around there. That's a sports section from today for you. Anyway, so congratulations, Winey. I'm really happy for you. I knew what's going to happen. He's a great golfer, and the son of a bitch can still play. So that's a great sign. Let's see.
We have topic requests.
A topic request. The Queen.
Well, that's one of them. Yeah, so you want to talk about the Queen?
A request of a specific topic?
Yeah, two.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he says he'd like to see the deputy police chief from Cartersville busted in Florida by an undercover cop in a hooker sting, and the Queen dying.
I have
let's
this
do
story.
The Queen.
What's that?
Okay, we've done almost an hour here, and we haven't talked about probably the biggest thing to happen in history in years.
Wow,
We've done a lot of small stuff.
Okay.
Let's do something big.
Okay, well, I believe me, I'm very happy to do anything you want. The Queen died, ending her basically 70-year reign. You have a what?
I must kill the Queen.
Jack, he tweeted.
Kill the
See,
Queen.
I didn't do it.
Kill the Queen.
I'm innocent. Which was one of the funny things yesterday. Reggie Jackson.
No, so you have I must kill the Queen. And she's out there waving to the crowd, the little moving of the
Did you
hand
see when
movement.
she threw the first pitch?
Yeah, curveball, screwball, knuckler. Now you have an entirely different take on the Queen dying than I or most other people will, because you. Well, I think she was a remarkable woman. Again, she was, I think, 13 when they started bombing Britain during World War II, and she went to work as an auto mechanic to help the war effort. She was a remarkable young lady and lived through. I mean, she's the last of the leaders of the greatest generation.
Just for that,
it's over.
There should have been some respect yesterday.
Yeah.
Just that she is the last of that actually fought against the Nazis.
Yeah.
And was still in a position to do stuff in 2022.
And King George, I mean, the whole family stayed in Buckingham Palace during the Blitz and said, "We're not leaving. We're staying with our people." I mean,
That was
there
her
was
dad doing
yeah,
that,
that was
yeah.
her father. That was King George the whatever
Fifth.
8th or 5th or what, I don't remember. And now Prince Charles, the lady killer, is now King Charles III. He was actually thinking of changing his name from Charles because of the history of a King Charles I 400 years ago.
No. Okay. King Charles I is the guy that they not only Cromwell. They called him. They beheaded him.
Yeah.
They had a revolution and killed him.
Yeah.
And then when they brought his son back years later, Charles II,
Yeah.
he was actually, I thought, a good king historically because he brought in the Reformation. He was
Oh, they got rid of him too.
No, I don't think so. He was a big partier. He loved to party and spend money. He brought extravagance back, but he also brought the Reformation back with scientists and doctors and stuff like that. So I always thought he was a good one.
Yeah.
But historically, I guess they're both looked upon with the side eye.
It's been 350 years, and
So I can
still
see
he was
why
going
he'd
to
wanna-
change his name.
I can see why he would think about
Well, but
it.
again, I can't imagine even having that as part of a thing to think about in my life. But again, the first thing you know the history of these people more than most people in
I
Britain
think
do.
King Charles Spaniels. I mean,
Now, before I'm going to do one, I want to talk about the reactions that should have been a lot different. Well, there were some wonderful reactions, but there were also some really bad ones. But I want to do one for you that made the rounds fairly quickly, and it was this. Oh crap! Now hold on, I got it right here. Before school kinky. Okay, I got it. I got to find my sign for school. Here we go. There was a meme from Gaming Disorder. I don't know what it means, and it said, "quote: Please be respectful when talking about the Queen. She was a head of state, a monarch, a mother to multiple pedophiles, and most importantly, a devoted cousin to her husband." So again, I mean, that's just, that's just me. But it was a lot worse than that when you're talking about the colonialism of the British Empire.
Well, all true,
Jeez.
but she didn't do that.
No,
she came
she
along
didn't.
at the end of it and oversaw the dissolution of it. It wasn't like she, as some people were acting. Personally, pointed out hit squads to go around the world and kill millions of people at
Yeah.
her direction.
Right.
That's not what was
Yeah.
happening.
No,
she tried to help people. She wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
The whole Diana thing was a mess.
My
If
only
you-
complaint was involving
if you watch
Princess
The
Diana.
Crown, which basically shows them that they're human and
Yeah.
different at
Yeah.
the same time, because they are, that's a great
Yeah.
show, by the way. I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever watch those Netflix. The Crown is unbelievable. It's all about her
Yeah.
and what she had to go through. She didn't want to be the queen.
Yeah.
Her sister did it. The younger one wanted it bad.
Yeah.
It should have been. She would have been
Yeah.
a bad queen. So the things she had to go through. What kills me is the British guy on BBC yesterday, and I put it on to find out what was going on. And the more I watched, the sadder I got, because it was history in front of our eyes. Most of the people over there, 95%, have never known anyone else.
She was 96 years old. Yeah.
Never known any, and she was the
Clearly.
one thing they all could look at, whether good or bad times, good times, whatever. She was the constant that was always there and always seemed to have their back. You know, and the vitriol. And the British guy said, it was a guy named Whitfield or something. He goes that the moment she died, and they're probably in the room with her, the crown passed imperceptibly, invisibly, and immediately to Charles. I'm thinking, God, that guy's got a way with words, doesn't he? I
Yeah.
think it's like they invented the language or something.
Yeah.
But the history of it was
Yeah.
that her first prime minister was
Churchill?
Churchill.
Yeah.
He was born in 1874.
Right. Well, Churchill, World War I stories about Winston
Right.
Churchill was why he went back to be
That was
a combat
her.
vet because of what happened in Gallipoli, or I forgot
Her
what the link was.
first,
But
can you imagine
Yeah.
that it was all downhill after that, prime minister-wise,
Yeah.
until you got to Thatcher.
yeah.
And and that poor girl
Boris.
that just got it. She's just
Oh,
sitting there for
what's her,
two-
Hume or Thum or what?
Who?
Juicy? What's that girl's name, the new prime minister?
Liz Truss.
Trust. I keep
She's
thinking
there
of
for
the-
2 days and she's killed the queen.
She murdered the queen. My God,
And I
man.
remember the Tuesday, the photo showing her standing up, holding the shillelagh or whatever,
Yeah.
as she came in, and you could tell she had the bruises on her hands.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, God, they've had to stick her there because
Yeah.
that's probably where all they could
Well,
find.
there was no question.
And
that
I'm
she
thinking,
was-
well, she doesn't look good in 2 days later. But
Yeah.
the fact that 2 days later, she was still working 2 days before she died.
Yeah.
She's standing up to meet this woman who's
Yeah,
got to
I
feel
know.
really bad about
She was
it.
a remarkable woman, and again, she was a monarch. She was the queen. She wasn't, she didn't make the laws. It's not like the whole royalty is a whole different thing. And I can't imagine being born into royalty. I'll bet it's a nightmare.
Well, you're inbred to begin with.
Well, I bet
You're part
that's the other
German.
thing. I mean, it's certain people get to be so you got that going against
Well,
you.
it's not like they're Spanish.
No, well,
I mean,
now you're
ooh.
talking ridiculous. Those Italians, oh my God. Anyway, the
No,
Greeks. oh my
I'm
God.
just talking. The Spanish royal family was so inbred. If you see
well,
pictures of them,
yeah, I know. That's horrible. Well, the early popes, for God's sakes, were mass murderers.
Oh, let's stick to the subject here.
Well, but again, I can't imagine being a member of royal. I mean, it's got to be horrible.
You should watch The
In
Crown.
so many ways.
And in some ways you can feel sorry. In other ways you're like, oh, cry me a river. But still,
Well, yeah, poor baby.
the only
everything's
people
taken
I
care of for you.
give a pass yesterday were the Irish, who have had the
Yeah.
English foot on their necks for
Yeah, that's
1,000
true.
years. They have particular, but it was not like your Sinn Féin, your IRA signed peace treaty under her.
Yeah.
Has worked with her, and I've got peace there for the first time in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So why the hatred for her? She
Yeah.
wasn't the one doing it, but I can understand the hatred of the royals
Well,
throughout their history. I can understand. In fact, Irish Twitter was trending yesterday. They were pissed.
Really?
They were not. But what I don't understand is the hate and vitriol coming from Americans. And there were people on our Facebook page. I had to block one
Because
of them.
they're
who
they're
called me a moron
Yeah.
for saying "rest in peace."
Right.
And they had these things up
Because-
that said, "I've proven free from the British royalty since 1776."
No, please.
I'm
It's-
thinking, what about a 96-year-old great grandmother who died half a world away and never did anything to you, triggered you to the point where you had to be a rolling asshole on social media about
I'll
it?
bet you
the day she dies.
I'll bet you if you were to investigate, I'll bet you 90% of the people who made those comments were young women.
No, I don't know. No, it was mostly middle-aged guys that just seemed bitter
Well,
about
it's-
everything.
I-
It's like, what does it make you feel bigger and better
That's
about yourselves?
that's America.
That you could post something saying that you haven't cared since 1770. Good for you. But you know what? If you didn't care, you wouldn't have posted anything. You would have gone on with your life.
It's social. It's American social media. Again, the social media is responsible for not only the spread of that kind of vitriol, but the fact that it's in somebody's wheelhouse to begin with. A 47-year-old guy in Iowa suddenly has to be all hateful because the Queen died? He never would have thought of that if he was driving to work and somebody said, hey, the Queen died. Oh, yeah, no shit. Drive to work. I know, but all of a sudden now it's on his phone. Oh, that Pete Davis, I saw show that bastard. It's unbelievable.
Because I said rest in peace.
Yeah, this is modern-day American culture. It's a social media. My God. But the nastiness. Automatically the nastiness.
I can understand the humor, but wait a day. There was a great Prince Charles meme yesterday, and this is hope for you. A 73-year-old man has found his first job.
He made it. Yeah, he had to go to work.
That was a funny meme because it was about him and not her and everything.
Yeah.
I can say, because we all use humor to get through things, and we make fun of dead people. In fact, we're going to make fun of the Queen later, probably.
Yeah.
Who knows? But the malevolence behind it.
I know.
For a woman that never did anything to you.
You can't. I couldn't go on Twitter. I tried to go and open up Twitter to see and I thought, oh my God. And it just was so nasty. I didn't, and even the stuff from just being fed down my phone.
Bill Burr recently, it was funny, this was going around yesterday. A few weeks ago, he sat down these two British guys who were interviewing American celebrities, and they had Bill Burr sat down, and they're talking about, but y'all are so divided, and as someone looking in from England or something, you guys are at each other's throats. He goes, well, wait. That's on social media. But when you get out there, and he points behind you, get out there in America, people are happy. They're getting on with their lives. They're trying to get by and with what's going on with the economy. They're not at each other's throats. They're not hating each other. This is on social media. And the British guy goes, yes, but blah, blah, blah. And Bill Burr goes, all right, come on. You've been here a week. Tell me all. You got it down pat. You've been here a week. Tell me about my country.
Yeah.
Come on.
Anyway, I think it's a shame. I think she was a remarkable woman. I don't get the whole royal family thing, but again, I feel a sense of nostalgia for it. If I see the Beefeater guards and the pomp and circumstance, I watched this morning a little bit, and they had all those magnificent horses.
Tied you through history.
It's just oh my God, and I thought I felt nostalgic. I felt I linked. I felt part of history. I felt part of, tradition.
We're here because of them.
And you look, things like the Swiss Guard and things from Europe. They've been around a lot longer than America's been around. This is it. It doesn't mean that they're never going to change the world. It used to be the British Empire ran everything, and so things have changed
for
over
good
the last
and bad.
200
For good
years.
and bad.
Yeah.
But here's the
we're
not calling
tradition of it is fine. I thought that was I like it. I think it was cool. I love seeing the castles and the carriages and the horse-drawn thing.
It's not for us. We kicked them out for a reason.
I can't imagine doing it.
It's not in our American system and psyche and ego to have a monarchy. We're just not built that way, and thank God we're not built that way. But I got no problem if they have it.
I can appreciate it. I enjoy it. I look and again when they saw all the horses going by and pomp and circumstance.
She used to ride.
And her dogs. She was an animal lover.
She had 100 horses. By the way.
Oh, I know. And she probably rode them all and knew them all and fed them all and gave them treats.
Her favorite reading was the Daily Racing Form.
Well, there you are. Anyway, 96 years old, and she passed away, and they couldn't wait to start mocking her and making fun of her.
Okay, this is a big moment in history, though, because if Charles screws this up, I think he's got about 10, 15 years. They usually live long, all of them. If he screws this up, if he starts meddling, which people were afraid of, and he says he's not going to do it.
Well, he's Mr. Green Energy guy.
He's batshit crazy.
Yeah.
He thinks, the climate change is all real, that we're all going to die in 5 years, and he wants to change everything overnight. He's all for the pro-vaccine. He's batshit crazy.
Better stay out of it.
But he needs to stay, and hopefully Camilla, who's the smart one, will keep him out of it, because she's got him on the straight and narrow.
Well,
because if he screws it up, William and Kate will be the last.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine
if they get in there.
I don't think I think he'll disappear before he does that. I think he'll just be the king and show up at ceremonial events. Well, but again, I think he has so many people. King, you can't just act on your own. He's got so many people who do everything. I guess every second of every day is all taken care. I don't know. I can't imagine that he's going to screw it up that badly that it would end the monarchy.
Well, that someone just pointed out too? I think Cindy pointed out the Carnegie Mellon professor.
Yeah.
That said what she said on this. And by the way, she's got freedom of speech. She can say it if she wants. That's not what the problem I have with it.
It's been deleted. Either I don't know whether Twitter took it down or she did.
Uju Anya Carnegie Mellon. She's a CRT professor, by the way.
Critical race theory. Yeah.
I heard the chief monarch of a thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating. She has every right to say that.
Yeah.
But she's representing the university when she does it.
That's right.
So she can be fired.
Oh, no,
for
they
that.
can never fire her.
So then someone said, Laura goes, "Ooh, you stink." And she replied, "You mean like your
Oh, my God. Like your sex organ?
yeah."
Oh, my God.
Yeah, her P
Curly
word.
is- oh,
Her
my
P word.
God.
And he goes, "I'm not wishing her dead. She's dying already. I'm wishing her an agonizingly painful death like the one she caused for millions of people." She didn't cause millions of people to die. It wasn't her doing that. The British government probably did. Her forerunners probably did that. But point out to me where she caused millions of people to die.
Yeah. Well, coming up, I'm going to be telling you about 2 different things in the news concerning schools, including a queer library and the Kinky Books. We'll get to that in a second, speaking of schools. Before we go, my complaints about Camilla and Prince Charles, I will never, not that it makes any difference, but I will never stop being hateful about his attitude toward Princess Di. How could he keep cheating on that innocent little virgin from day one? It was a 3-person marriage, and it was never going to be any different. I mean, the man has no moral character as far as I'm concerned. He was going to be the King of England, marrying a beautiful young virgin who would be devoted to doing anything to be the future Queen of England and to continue the realm as far as we can tell. And he couldn't stop having sex with that beast that he was, his first true sex conquest when they were the 2 ugly. Can you imagine him making? Oh God! Anyway, and he couldn't stop. He couldn't give up his beast on the side for that beautiful little innocent virgin princess. Are you kidding me? To be King of England? I mean, what a scumbag! As far as I'm concerned, he killed her. He caused that divorce. He caused that breakup. He caused her to go with Dodi. He caused her. All of a sudden, everything exploded. The journalists are going to be all of the photographers trying to run him down in the Paris tunnel, and they killed him and he died. That's because of Prince Charles. Started all that stuff because he couldn't keep it in his pants with that ugly beast concerning his new beautiful bride.
I think it's 80-20, 80% his fault. She wasn't blameless, but it was mostly him doing it, yeah.
Anyway, just for the record, and again,
I don't think he's that person now, but we'll see.
It was 20 years ago.
He's
and
73
still,
now.
Yeah, it's still to me. Anyway,
20 years.
well, 25 years, I guess.
25.
91. Was it 91? No, wait a minute now.
97.
97, yeah.
Oh, I forget who it was. Somebody said, Mark Huffstedler.
Oh, Mark from the ball game. And
said, "Pete, I'll give you $20 American if you walk into a British pub here in town and say, 'Who died?'" And I almost,
like you did the last time.
like when Diana died.
Princess
I
Di
almost
died.
drove down to Churchill. You ever been to Churchill's? Yeah. That's a great. You ever been to Churchill's?
No, I don't think so.
Down there by it used to be the County Cork across the street.
No.
It's like the really authentic English pub here, where you go in. It's dark. There's low ceilings. It's been here since
I've been to the one in
1974.
Buckhead. What's the other one in
That's
Buckhead?
probably Churchill's
Cork,
in-
Cork and bottle or something or other.
That's Irish. And there's the
there
Rose
was,
and
there
Crown.
was another British, and it had the dark ale and everything.
the
too.
Rose and Crown. And
Yeah, that was
Rose
it.
and Crown's not there anymore.
What's the big Fado's is
Fado's.
Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Rose and
Irish.
Crown's gone.
I think so.
I did shows from
That's
there.
where I went. I think I had some kind of weird ale.
Well, I
or
was going to
something
go
or
to
other.
Churchill's and have a bass, but then I thought I drive downtown and rush hour.
I
would
wouldn't,
become
no,
stupid.
I don't think
But
that'd be
tonight I'll probably wander around. I got a pub around the corner from me. I think it's called the Prince of Wales or something. I may go get some fish and chips tonight.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Raise one.
I am going to be talking about the deputy
British
chief
chick from the
business,
bar.
and we are going to talk about the school things. The actual
Let me
news,
comfort you.
news topics. So thank you. No, here, I'm there for you.
I mean, seriously,
I'm here for you.
if you can't pull a British chick from a pub tonight, when are you gonna?
Maybe you should swing by Johnny's.
And I did. I mentioned one. I think I mentioned one thing on the morning radio show with Colin this morning that I want to mention on here too. I thought was really cool in tribute to the passing of the Queen Mother. After 9/11 happened, 2001, we got hit on 9/11. In Britain, the next day when the Queen had the official beginning of the changing of the guard or whatever the official ceremony is, she had them play the American national anthem. And that was done, the changing of that ceremony had been done for the first time in 600 years.
Yeah, she did. She called
She
that.
did that.
She did. So all these Americans pissed off at her. Why are you mad at her?
600 years, she said, wait a minute, we're going to salute the colonies
Yeah.
after they got hit. I mean, that's just that's a thing. Those things are important, and nobody knew. I didn't remember that at the time or know it at the time, but I remember it now.
Any nitpicking thing that anyone can come out with that she did that was against what we wanted over here, you got to realize she's not the queen of us.
Right, yeah.
She's the queen of Great Britain. She's looking out for them.
Yeah.
She don't have to look out for us.
Yeah.
But doing that, I'd forgotten about. You're right.
Yeah.
She didn't have to do that.
Right, she did a lot.
This isn't 1770. She's not
Right.
George III.
Yeah, they're not in the Boston Harbor lobbing fire bombs into
That was us. We were the final ones
that's right.
there.
We did that too. Well, us, them, whatever.
Justified.
We were still British at the time.
we were treasonous. We were traitors.
In fact, it was on this day when we changed our name. I'll get that in
That's
our history
right.
notes coming
You're
up here in
right.
a second. Anything else on the Queen or the monarchy before we move on? Got
It's
one
going
more.
to be interesting what goes forward. How the people spontaneous. There was a double rainbow.
Oh, that's the other thing. That
double
was a great
rainbow.
tribute. Double
People
rainbow. That
Started.
that's
in
funny.
fact, Camilla and Charles showed up today and went out and met people. And people were chanting, "God save the
Oh,
King."
I think it's gonna be a
which is,
warm,
wow.
wonderful thing, yeah.
For a little, there's a honeymoon, and then it'll
Well,
sink in.
if
We're paying
he-
a lot of money for this
if
guy
he starts
to be in there.
mouthing off about green new energy or something or other, or changing the way farmers can farm their
And
lands,
here's what
then
can change it.
He's going to get
They're
it.
going to be through a rough winter. They're already running out of energy now.
Well, thanks to dealing with Russia, for God's sake.
this-
Thanks to Europe dealing
Yeah.
with Russia. But
And-
we
and
told
they have
them,
all the
don't
oil.
don't do it. No,
they
we're gonna
have
do-
all they need in the North
Yeah.
Sea,
Then
and
they
they've cut
should have
back
taken-
on
yeah,
it because of Greta.
Then they should have taken care of Ukraine. If they can't help us prevent Russia from making millions of dollars by invading Ukraine, they're the ones who should have been stopping it in the first place. But again, why are we
This
spending all the money?
is a long, cold winter in Great Britain, and people are hurting.
Yeah.
They're going to turn on him
Well, they are.
because he's the idiot saying you shouldn't be having the North
Yeah.
Sea oil and gas.
Yeah. Yeah. One more a famous person in the news who passed away I want to talk about, and it links.
poor guy.
Links me on this day when he would have gotten a
Poor
lot more of
bastard.
attention. But it also links the guy who took me under his wing when I came to Atlanta in 1972.
Touching.
No. And I'll get to that, the link to that story, and how something used to be really a remarkable and well-respected institution involving that very situation we're talking about has now fallen into such disrepair. But first, how about swapping your whip? Oh, let's say you're driving along and you say, man, I see a car, I've always wanted that car, maybe 10 years old, I wish I could try to find one now. Well, guess what? There's a company called SwapMyWhip.com. Whip is a colloquial phrase for a ride, as you probably know. SwapMyWhip.com. And you go there and you find like-minded car owners who are saying, hey, I've always wanted that car. I wonder if he's willing to do kind of a trade or work out your own deal. No dealerships, no used car salesmen, no middlemen. You look on the website, SwapMyWhip.com. See if you find something you like. Get in touch. Boom, bam, you're in business. Now, it's not just cars. Also boats, jet skis, off-road vehicles, stuff like that. SwapMyWhip.com. And when you use the coupon code KIMMER, K-I-M-M-E-R, it's 180 days of free premium listings on SwapMyWhip.com. This could be perfect for what you're looking for. SwapMyWhip.com. Okay. Now, condolences for the passing of Bernard Shaw.
I know. Yeah.
82
I thought he
years
was
old.
already dead. Didn't you?
I hadn't thought of. I didn't know. I hadn't thought. I thought he was probably dead because he'd been around for so many years before. But Bernard Shaw died at 82. He was CNN's first real chief anchor for like 20 years. He was, you have to call him a pioneer in black broadcasting. I mean, he was one of the national, and who was the guy on ABC?
Max Robinson?
Max
Remember
Robinson
him,
was a former pilot, as I recall, and was on ABC for
Great
many years
stash.
in Chicago. Yeah, he had a great, and he had that demeanor about it. Yeah, Max Robinson, yeah. And Bernard Shaw He was a part of the Gulf War coverage as missiles flew around Baghdad. He was there. And one of the stories I read about him concerning being in Baghdad, he was also there with John Holloman. Now, you might remember that name.
Yeah. Who passed away. Yeah.
When I came here in 1972 at the radio station, doing the morning show, and Aubrey Morris was the news director, and one of the news guys, the first guy really who kind of was just so nice and took me under his wing to show me where to go and where the editing rooms were, and just everything about he was just really was so nice, was John Holloman. And he was my first. Again, I had lived up north my whole life. I went to Arizona State when I came back from the Marines and stuff, but I'd never really been in the Deep South. I never really spent a lot of time in the Deep South. And he was my first true deep Southerner guy that I really got to know pretty well. And he was a good old boy. I mean, he was just he talked like a Southerner. He acted like a Southerner. He couldn't have been more helpful or friendly or kind and a gentleman. I mean, it was a great welcoming the way he was. And he was a real news guy. He was always doing something, looking up stuff, reading stuff. And I'll bet that's why he died in a car wreck. He was driving around a corner, and I think he missed the turn or hit a car or something, because I'll bet he was reading a book and typing a letter and writing something and then doing something else at the same time.
And he was a war correspondent.
Yeah,
he dies in a car
war
crash.
Correspondent died in a car crash. Well, I mean,
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
Motorcycle.
Well, the movie guy with the it had the silver pistols.
With the nose.
No, the Patton.
Not a
General
prime minister.
Patton died in a car wreck in Germany.
He was killed. He was murdered.
Oh, you think he was murdered?
Oh, I think they murdered him.
Oh, really?
He wanted to go to Russia. He wanted to keep going.
So you think Eisenhower killed him?
I don't know. No, I don't think Eisenhower killed him, but I
Well,
think somebody got him.
Somebody high up would have had to kill George Patton?
I'm telling you.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Even in the
mister.
movie, they made it kind of a mystery.
They never really cleared anything up to me in that whole thing about that. So
Just telling you, a lot of people think that.
That could be. Anyway, I remember two things about Bernard, a couple things about Bernard Shaw. But again, John Holloman passed away way too young, and I really felt terrible about that because he was such a great guy. And again, this was back when CNN was king. CNN was a treasure. I remember thinking, first of all, when they were going to start it, I'm thinking to myself, who in the hell would think that you can do news 24 hours a day? I mean, when I was a kid, CBS was 15 minutes. The first Walter Cronkite newscast was 15 minutes.
That must be a generational thing, because when I heard it, I thought, well, finally.
No, I thought, nobody's going to watch
Of course,
that.
because people are up all night and they'll flick on. There's something to watch.
I didn't think
it would be live. It would be new. I thought it would be a success from the beginning.
I didn't think the Golf Channel would get people watching
See,
24 hours a day. But anyway, but I thought, but it obviously was, a great idea. But again, it was the source, and you could always depend on CNN to be live and to cover an event that was legitimate.
How much have you ever watched CNN?
I mean,
As a 40-year-old.
not much.
Yeah, I haven't watched them in 20 years. I mean, literally in.
But I do remember back in the. I mean, I was a kid, but I remember when the Iraq War started, and
I watched them then
when
because
CNN became the first.
If it's a
24-hour
breaking story
coverage.
that's not political, like yesterday, I flicked on for a second to see what they were
still
talking
don't
about,
even I still
and then I
can't
went to
watch
the BBC. Well, I'm hoping they're not going to stick politics into like an attack somewhere.
Theoretically,
or,
it looks like they're trying to change, but
Yeah.
I still don't believe them. But again, see, back at the time in the 90s, Gulf War I, it was CNN. And I remember looking in my living room, watching the war live on television. Now, and again, the Vietnam War was called the living room war because the videos came over on the news in the living room during dinner hour, 6, 7 o'clock at night. People watching the war in the living room. But this was live. I mean, you're watching the rocket and hear John Holloman say, oh, there it goes. And, oh, there's another explosion over about a mile from me right now. I mean, you're watching the war. And I promise you, it's not like the real thing, but it's damn close. I mean, it's pretty close.
Exhilarating.
Yeah, I mean, you get the old bimbity bombity. And I remember, what a thrilling event in our lifetime to be watching America say, oh yeah, well, we'll show you, mister. Boom, and off we go and bomb the bad guy. I mean, holy crap, what an event. I mean, think about it. What an event.
The first F around and find out.
And there you go. Yeah, try me. Yeah, step over the line. Go ahead. Back when it meant something because we had a Republican president and Republican people who cared about stuff. Anyway, but so I mean, it was remarkable what CNN used to be. I mean, what it literally really used to be. You could trust them. There was I don't know. I guess it was all Donald Trump.
Oh, Diana's dead. That's all people watched was CNN.
Yeah.
When she
Well, that's
died.
right too. That's why we all did. But
The
again,
space shuttle exploding.
yeah. Once again, I was in the newsroom at the radio station, and I watched it on TV on CNN. We had CNN on. Anyway, I mean, and again, in terms of Bernard Shaw, I remember one thing in particular which I thought was really interesting, and I respect him for it, but I didn't like him for it. During the 88 presidential campaign, Michael Dukakis against George W. Bush. And Bernie Shaw was moderating the presidential debate in 1988. And I remember very specifically when he said, I read the exact words, to Michael Dukakis, Governor, you are against the death penalty. Would you still be against the death penalty if someone raped and murdered your wife? And when I heard him ask that question, my immediate response was, oh, you vicious bastard. How could you even say those words out loud in a presidential debate when my wife is already now a public figure and I'm running for presidency and you're putting the theory of someone raping and murdering my wife to talk about the issue of capital punishment? How would you have the balls to even say such a horrible question to me?
Didn't he couch it in the terms of Willie Horton had been let out by Dukakis and had done something again once he got out?
Yeah, well, but then he was complaining about the George Bush ad showing that he got out, and it wasn't. He was blaming. The Republicans were blaming Dukakis for it, but they were also blaming the Republicans for using it in an ad. So it was like a double whammy thing. But anyway, Bernard Shaw's question was, would you feel the same way if someone raped and murdered your wife? And the reason Dukakis lost was because his answer was something like this. Well, Bernard, I think it's very important we talk about the issues of capital punishment and whether or not a family member is involved with this. And I'm going, oh, geez, you dumb freaking idiot. This is the same guy who showed up in a tank wearing a helmet looking like an idiot. I mean, what I would have said to Bernard Shaw was, Bernard, you dirty bastard. You know, I should come down there and punch you in the nose. How could you even say a thing like that concerning a presidential candidate's wife when we're now public figures and you put those words out in the public? Shame on you, you dirty scumbag. And so I ought to go down there and punch you in the nose. And by the way, for the record, Bernie, if you're asking me what I would do if someone raped and murdered my wife, I'd rip his freaking throat out. I'd rip his throat out and I'd rip his heart out and I'd eat it. How about that, Bernie? I mean, that would have been my answer. And I probably would have walked off the stage at the time and said, hey, vote for me or not, I don't care, but I'm not taking this crap off of you idiots. Boom, pow. I mean, really, you know, honestly, he blew the opportunity the same way that Dan Quayle blew the opportunity. Reminded me of that when Lloyd Benson was saying, oh, I knew John Kennedy.
I was friends with John.
Senator, I was friends with John Kennedy. You're no John Kennedy. Dan Quayle just kind of didn't do any. As I recall, he just stood there like an idiot, laughing like everybody else was, instead of saying, you know, Lloyd, you're just a grumpy old fart. You're the kind of guy who yells to the kids to get off my lawn, which is why you're never going to be president and you're never going to be vice president. But you can go ahead and be a nasty, stinky old man and, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Congratulations to your speech writers. But, you know, I'm not John Kennedy. I'm Dan Quayle, proud to be here. I've loved George W. Bush as my president, and we are looking forward to making America great again. Boom, bam, pow.
Not W.
Well, the other W. George H.W. Bush. Well, I left out a letter. I left out one letter. Oh, ring the hair. Yeah, give underneath. There you go. Yeah. I'm having a bad year.
I'm sorry, as ombudsman of the show,
Anyway, just for the record, the Queen and Bernard Shaw. Now,
but the bad timing.
I know, poor bastard.
But this happened a year or two ago where somebody huge died and somebody who had been huge died and no one knew about the second one. It's so
I know.
You feel so bad for
And
them.
he was a great guy. I mean, he quit the news business when he was 61. He said, in fact, he was interviewed afterwards. years later, and they said, Bernard Shaw was famous for being a leader and a black communicator and so forth, but he was a world traveler as a reporter. He went around, he was in, not only the war, but all over the place. And they asked him, you're looking back on it now, what a remarkable career you've had, tremendous opportunities to interview princes and kings and been all over the world and covered war and all over the globe. When you're looking back on your career, it must have been really something real. And he said, you know what? He said, frankly, for all those times that you were talking about that I was away from my family, to be honest with you, it really wasn't worth it.
Wow. Good for him.
I swear to God, he said it really wasn't worth it.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. What a thing to, I'd make,
Meeting
it
all
gives
those
me
shallow
chills.
people.
Yeah.
All those years.
It gives me chills.
And having to act like they had some kind of gravitas and treat them seriously when all you wanted to do was laugh at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and with that, rest in peace and good thoughts about Bernard Shaw. Anyway, what a shame. Now, I do want to talk about, in fact, I've got the story here. I'm not even going to mention his name because he's going to be embarrassed enough. His life is ruined. He'll never be the same. I hope he doesn't do anything stupid and everything else. But there is in Cartersville, Georgia, there is a high-ranking police official who no longer is a high-ranking police official. And I'm only going to tell you the story because there are a couple things in here that just, if you're not, when we tell this story, if you're not thinking about a certain defensive player for the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl in Miami, who was given an award for the greatest American family father of all time.
Christian Athlete of the Year or something like
yeah,
that.
He got the Humanitarian Father of the Year award or something the night before. He got caught trying to pick up
that day. He probably had the trophy in the car with him.
And he was looking for a hooker for a little hunga
in broad daylight.
In broad daylight in Miami. Yeah. So, and you wonder, how in the world would he even think? Well, here we go. This high-ranking police official in Cartersville was at a meeting in Orlando at the American Polygraph Association seminar and workshop. Okay? He's been a cop with Cartersville since 1996, so he's been around and he's a high-ranking officer. He was in Orlando, and he went online and responded to an ad that said, would you like a date? And so he exchanged messages with a girl, and it said, are you available tonight? I'd like to come see you. What is your rate? Well, the girl replied what the rate was, and then apparently this officer, this high-ranking officer, got spooked and said, well, let's do it the next night. Okay. Now, the next night, he met up with a woman. He apparently gave her $180 and a pack of White Claw hard seltzer. That's booze. Is that
bad seltzer?
Yes.
Crap.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so it's booze. So he shows. So this is a a high-ranking officer. Gave her $180 and a pack or a thing of White Claw booze, and met up with her. And that's when he got arrested because it turns out the girls he was talking to are members of the Polk County Police Department. They were going through a sting that week of trying to round up Johns who solicit women who solicit them over the internet. And sure enough, now here's why I'm mentioning this, because here's a little more about the story. Thursday night, two things about the story. I'm going to quote you from a member of the Polk County Sheriff's Department. A member? I've got to get the guy's name here. His name is Jason. Hold on, I got it here. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. Okay, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. He said, as I understand it, after talking to the chief up there, he'd been here almost 30 years, well-respected, graduated from the FBI Academy. This is the other chief talking now about this Georgia cop, saying, well-respected police officer in town. Did you notice I said in town, but he was out of town? So this is the police chief down in Florida kind of starting to make fun of this cop from Cartersville who got caught. He said, available tonight, engaged in sexual activities. He got spooked. He reached out to the undercover detective thinking it was a girl, agreed to go to a location to meet. And so the Polk County cop says, quote, on Thursday night, he just couldn't resist the urge to be with our undercover detective, who he thought was a high-class prostitute. They met up with arrangements. He's and the other chief said he's in one of the undercover vehicles when he shows up at our undercover operation in the government vehicle carrying alcoholic beverages. So ostensibly, says the Florida chief, this guy has come to have sex with a prostitute while driving the Cartersville police undercover vehicle. And then he says he told the undercover detective that he had engaged with another prostitute online for $200 the night before. According to Sheriff Judd from down south, the alleged prostitute asked the cop to get a Cash App card with the money and send her a picture of the card to prove that he was doing it. So the Polk County cop says, and this guy's a cop, and he was flim-flammed and conned by a prostitute. She took the information off the card, got the $200, and left him high and dry. So again, the Polk County cop is making fun of how stupid the Cartersville police officer was. They were doing a week-long human trafficking operation. By the way, what are the odds that the Cartersville cop is going to a meeting the same week that one department's doing a sting operation? I mean, talk about the chances. And here's the last thing this other cop says down in Florida, how he's mocking our cop. And he says, quote, if all else fails, he can write a book. How to Ruin Your Career in 3 Easy Steps. He's got a beautiful wife, a great family. He's managed, obviously, to create a great deal of angst with his family. The police chief is angry beyond words, which I certainly clearly understand. He's embarrassed the city. So this Polk County, Florida cop went on and on, ripping the Cartersville cop for good reason. But again, 2 things. First of all, what in the world was he thinking? I mean, you know, what world was he thinking? And secondly, I didn't know you could get tricked like that. If some girl tells you to send her the picture of the app card to prove that you got it, she could take the numbers off it and get the money. so he didn't get a good night kiss or anything for his $200. But again, how dumb can you be? He's a high-ranking police official.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He's been suspended, and obviously he's going to quit or be fired. And I mean, oh my God.
Is he married?
Married. The cop says he has a beautiful wife and family.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Again, God.
Well, guys just
What
get
were you
weird. They go out of
thinking?
town and.
Well, I mean, I when I was in Vegas the last time, I thought of, wandering around the casinos, ready to go to bed or something, and all of a sudden you see these beautiful chicks are kind of eyeing you and stuff.
I mean, it's legal there.
And it's legal, so it's not like you're going to get.
I mean,
in
it's going to
trouble.
cost you $5.
It's not legal in Orlando.
Well, I did, yeah, but
No, Vegas.
Oh, Vegas.
But they won't let you kiss them. If you can't kiss a girl,
I don't
want to
kiss a whore.
Either would I. I'm saying.
wants to
who
kiss
would
a
want to?
whore?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I wouldn't want to do it, and if they only had only the makeout team, that would be that's one thing. But if they regular full system hookers, no thank you.
Oh
That's
my
not,
God! Full system hookers.
Full system hookers.
I've
the
never
full
heard it
hungada.
I've never heard it called that before.
A new clinic called the full hungada. Sorry.
So while you were doing that, we had an incident here.
What? Yeah, well, I saw you eyeing Flounder. What happened? What'd I do? Do something bad?
You
What
checked
happened?
your phone?
Oh, let me see.
What'd you do? What did I do?
Just a second here. You'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, before you say anything, you're talking. I look over there, and he's scrolling down, looking at stuff on the internet there, shopping, doing a little shopping. And this is what I see that he's doing. He's shopping for.
Oh my God!
Waldo.
Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo
So when
costume?
Costumes.
I've always had my Where's Waldo costume. It was always my go-to for when I had to dress up for Halloween parties. And when I moved, I lost my costume. So I was reordering it because Halloween's coming up, and I'm going to go trick-or-treating with the niece and nephew.
I wonder if I still have the
Yeah,
stain costume
Halloween.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll let you use the stain costume.
You should dress up as the Stain. In fact,
Where the hell
show
is
before
it?
Halloween, we should dress up and come here dressed up before Halloween.
Absolutely.
What? Check the schedule.
I
see
wonder
what
if
that day
I
is.
still. God, it's got. Where would
I
it
thought
be?
you said you had it.
It's got to be somewhere in my
You
stuff
brought
that I
it
brought
up.
up from Florida. It's got to be in there somewhere.
There's your homework assignment. Find
That's
the
my
Stain.
homework assignment. Oh my God.
That is just so. If I looked over there and he's looking up these
Where's
beanies and stuff, and
Waldo?
it's where's Waldo? Do
With
I
the
have your
red and
permission
white
to share
stripe.
this on?
One thing, you caught me looking at porn, but...
I think this is what you're using it for. Where's that's yeah? Hey baby, where's
Where's
Waldo?
Waldo? Yeah, you want to go to the submarine races?
Where's his snake?
One more quick crime thing for, and we kind of mentioned it before about this business in Memphis. A guy live streaming murdering people, 4 dead. He's 19 years old. Ezekiel, named after the character in the Bible, a famous biblical name. 19 years old, violent felon. just released from prison. If he had been serving his full 3-year sentence instead of getting out early, this never would have happened. Live streaming murder, and of course, he's a Democrat. Memphis filled with Democrats. And next to it is, I love the political cartoonist named Michael Ramirez for the Creators Syndicate. And his cartoon today is inside a morgue. And the morgue table is there, and there's a detective with a file under his arm, and with him is the coroner, is dressed up in his uniform, or his scrubs and so forth. The crime scene in Memphis, and the coroner's holding this long sheet of paper, goes down to the floor, and the detective says, "Yes, coroner, cause of death," and the coroner says, "Liberal justice reform and early release." How much? I mean, here we go again.
I know.
This is
Letting them
happening
out early.
almost every week.
It's George Soros and the DAs and the Democrats. It's a revolving door. They're trying to disrupt and crash society so they can replace it with the socialism.
I mean, how much more evidence do we need that this is not the way you have a country?
The Democrats are in charge of every major city, and they're destroying
Jesus.
every major city we have. Destroying it.
Look at the evidence.
San Francisco, L.A., Detroit, Philadelphia, New York, every one of them. They're
Baltimore.
destroying.
I mean,
Baltimore,
violent. New Orleans. I mean, pick one.
Memphis, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta used to be a nice place.
Atlanta.
I don't even want to drive downtown now. Not at night.
It's not
That's why I
safe.
moved.
It's not safe.
I mean, see, I feel at every stoplight, I could get shot.
It's not safe. A couple things. I mentioned something before, which is again things I don't freaking believe. A quick update: Hunter and Daddy who showers with daughter, and the communist Chinese. Clear link now. Remember crime boss Whitey Bulger from FBI and the Boston killer who was helped with the FBI, links with him, and then finally got caught and then died, got caught and killed. Well, his nephew, Jimmy Bulger, as you may know, is Hunter Biden's former business partner. Mm-hmm. And when Jimmy Bulger asked Hunter to meet and greet his commie officials with their wetting their beak process, Hunter said, "Absolutely, be my pleasure to do that with the communist Chinese and my associates and my company. It was part of an investment scheme funded by the Bank of China. And it's all on the laptop that the FBI has been hiding and covering up for 2 years because the FBI wanted Hunter's daddy to win the election and destroy Donald Trump. And there's more evidence now linking Hunter and his associates and his daddy with the communist Chinese. We've known this since Tucker Carlson had on Mr. Bobulinski to say that he was in the meetings with Hunter and Joe and Jimmy, the uncle. And we've all known this for a long time. Also, I love this. A federal judge has ordered the podium puppet, little stupid Francine Regine Jajine Favine at the podium, the new speaker, and the sainted Dr. Fauci to turn over all of their emails with back and forth to the big tech companies to prove they were killing free speech, slanting the election for the Democrats, lying about the China virus, lying about the cover-up of where it came from, lying about the lab leak, lying about the treatment, and it's all on there with their Chinese friends, and it's all in emails, and a federal judge has said you've got to turn it over to people who want to get to the bottom of this, proving again the Democrats have been deliberately staging a coup for 5 years. These are the same people who wanted a disinformation czar to make sure the conservatives are never heard from again.
Yeah.
And now I can't wait for her to be, because I mean, and she is such an embarrassment.
So effing stupid.
Oh God, I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
what
really
kills me,
shameful.
I don't mind black women being in positions of authority, but you're telling me they're the best, that she and that Supreme Court justice are the best you can find?
Please. I mean, you know that's not true.
That's not true.
If you have to if you have to be racist enough to be singling out by demographics, at least get the best ones.
Yeah.
I mean, that Francine Regime is the best representative for
In
a gay black woman that
In
you
your
have to have.
daily life, you meet intelligent black women
Jesus.
that are better than both of those women. Smarter. In daily life.
I guarantee you, in every office building within 5 miles of here, there are 10 women who are black and maybe also gay, who are intelligent and leaders and investors and can take care of business. Unlike this woman, is an embarrassment. Anyway, let's see. Oh, also, President showers with daughter. has just appointed John Podesta to head a new climate czar fiefdom. Or is it fiefdom? He'll get a budget of $340 billion to put the Green New Deal into effect, killing the oil and gas businesses, paying off his old cronies who helped him and Hillary get away with treason and sedition for 5 years. By the way, it was John Podesta that gave me the opportunity to give Hillary the nickname of Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage. It was John Podesta who admitted to his friends in emails. Remember, his password was password, and when people got a hold of his emails, John Podesta was telling his friends several things, including, if you want to talk to Hillary, you better get her early in the afternoon, because by late afternoon, she's drunk. Yeah. Secondly, he said, the problem with Hillary is she smells like urine all the time and cabbage. And it smells, she farts and smells like farts and urine and cabbage all the time. So that's why I call her Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, because he's the one who said that's what she's like. And that she's always drunk in the afternoon. John Podesta, who, by the way, got away with all the. He was in the scheme with Jake Sullivan and all those guys when they were, doing the phony Russian collusion and the Steele document. They were all in the beginning of it.
Didn't his brother co-write
His brother's a crook.
Obamacare?
Yeah, his brother's a scoundrel.
And then bragged about it afterwards that we knew that none of it was true,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we figured the American public was so stupid
That's right.
they'd go for it.
Yeah, that's right. And we did. They did. Anyway, I just thought that was freaking. Now, a couple of the quick things on. I mentioned the school business here before. Okay. There is a nonprofit organization partnering with the American Federation of Teachers. That's the big teachers union, providing books to teachers with sex imagery, drag queens, and gender ideology for the teachers who teach kindergarten through 12th grade. They are partnering with Disney, the American Federation of Teachers, and other entities. Some of the people listed in the marketplace of the books, which are discounted to low-income schools, have things such as this in the books they make available to the Teachers Union for low-income school districts. Fred Gets Dressed, ages 4 to 6. Quote, Fred Gets Dressed is about a little boy who loves to be naked. The book ends when Fred decides to dress up in his mom's closet, which later becomes a family affair involving both his parents dressing up in feminine clothes. Fred is naked, the book said. The illustrations depict the child naked 14 times. He romps through the house naked, wild, and free, the book said. Fred might never get dressed again. Here's another one, title called Flamer. Flamer is you probably got pretty good. Flamer is a graphic novel that contains sexually charged topics and imagery. The characters discuss, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this will be not dirty, but adult. I'm going to say this is true, real words, so I'm going to say them, but again, they could be offensive. Flamer is a graphic The characters discuss erections, penis size, and the illustrations depict naked teenage boys. Who is RuPaul, ages 7 to 9? Who is RuPaul, the drag queen and reality TV star? Images of drag queens in sexual positions. Quote, a drag queen is most commonly a man who dresses up and performs as a woman. RuPaul says we're all born naked and the rest is drag. What RuPaul means is that we're all the same and life is just a performance.
God, we're all the same.
We're all the
Socialism,
same.
Baby, we're all the same.
One more. Aristotle and Dante is about two teenage boys who fall in love. Many, if not most of its pages, discuss having sex, planning to have sex, sexual pleasure, and sexual desire. Quote, I'm thinking Dante could charm the pants off me and my underwear too, the book says. All I can think about is sleeping next to you, both of us naked. But maybe it's just a phrase, Ari, but if you masturbate, what would you think about when you do? And one more.
Wait. Did Gore Vidal write that? Hey, come on.
That sounds a little gorish, Vidalish. The pronoun book, ages 0 to 3. Last one. Described as a joyous introduction to pronouns, the book is geared for children of a very young age, till 3, discussing the pronoun they and neopronouns. I didn't know they were called neopronouns, such as z, zi, si, and questioning.
You know what? I want to change my profiles right here, right now. From now on, you must address me as Fee Fi Fum.
And fum. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman or something. And one more. These delightful little stories. California high school teacher is boasting about her queer library. Yes, Capistrano School District has a queer library in this woman's classroom with over 100 books, orgies, sex parties, bondage, sadomasochism. Juliet takes a breath with imagery of sex between women. Everything you wanted. Yeah,
Juliet takes
a breath.
I couldn't breathe.
I think we know what that's all about. Everything you always wanted to know about being trans, discussing fetishes, bondage, kinky social media networking. Quote, I find the BDSM bondage community and kink community kind of extremely open-minded and welcoming in every way. It's a place of sexual liberation. There's more often a blanket level of acceptance and transgender people within the kink bondage community, sadism and dominance, and the sites such as FetLife for the kink community. Another book is called This Book is Gay. Tells you how to have anal with girl-on-girl sex. We all want to have sex with loads of people, and the prostate gland feels amazing when massaged. Oh my God! I mean,
what is this about the prostate gland? It's in all the stuff. They all talk about it, male and female. Well, the women don't have
women
it.
don't have it.
But how does that turn you on?
The only experience I've had with a prostate gland was when the doctor digitized and he found cancer.
Okay, every year I have to have the exam thing.
But it's not
I have never felt that to be pleasurable.
Well, he's not going, oh baby, you know.
Well, he is feeling around it.
Yeah, I know.
That
Pete,
doesn't give me an erection.
I don't know. I don't have an answer. I guess you'd have to have the full. In other words, I don't know how. Okay, look at it this way. I don't know how you would discover whether that was pleasurable or not unless you did it.
Well, yeah, you have to.
You'd have to go all the way. No, the doctor's finger isn't going to do
River.
it. So, take me out to the ball game. So, but again, you'd have to go all the way to find out whether it was pleasurable, I guess. I mean, who can? I don't. I'm sorry.
All right, pleasure at the prostate. Not brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. They got custom shirts, hats, signs. No prostates on any of them. No minimum order. No setup fees. Now with laser engraving for your tumblers and your wood products, whatever you need, they have it. Kimmer Show T-shirts, Holy Crap at Sports T-shirts with I've had several people ask about this today. The Drink Up Shriner T-shirts.
There you go.
And everybody's saying they don't know where I got that from. Do you? Because I've said it on your show before. But it's been a long time.
Drink Up Shriners you had from, God, wasn't it you and Jack Kennedy?
No, it was before that. When I was a kid.
I forgot. I guess I forgot. You told me. I can't remember what you told me, and I can't remember.
It was a line that George Carlin said on, I think, the album Class Clown. And basically, he was talking about the guys driving around the little cars with the fez hats.
Yeah.
And he said, drink up, Shriners. And for some reason, as a kid, that made me laugh. And I've said it ever since. So that's where I got it. Drink up, Shriners.
Anyway, they'll do that T-shirt or put it on a hat, or I'm getting stuff for my kids and for Dan, my
they'll put it
son-in-law.
on a fez hat for you.
Whatever you want, they can find for you.
FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
I've worked with them many times, and I'll be working with them many times in the future, too. A couple quick things. Apparently, there's a company called the American and Canadian Lobster Fisheries use a company called Seafood Watch, which ranks the likelihood of being able to get seafood and which seafood should be avoided because they're in danger of being killed off entirely or something, apparently. Well, now this company, Seafood Watch, has said that lobster is getting their red list warning, which means that seafood poses too much of a risk to rare whales and should be avoided, so stop getting lobster when you order seafood.
Rare whales?
Rare whales.
Why?
Well, because the lobster thing are on the bottom of the ocean floor, the lobster traps, and because of their connecting cables and stuff, they get right whales get trapped in them and die. Wow. And there are only 340 North Atlantic right whales number less than 340 in their entire species, and getting tangled in the nets and the lobster traps is one of the reasons why they're dying off, along with colliding with ships.
In the book Mayflower, they talk when the Pilgrims landed. That's all they saw, right whales everywhere
Yeah.
in the Sound,
Yeah.
in between
Oh, yeah,
Cape
absolutely.
Cod and
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
But again, they're dying off, and the reason is the lobster traps. So the seafood people are saying, stop ordering lobster. And a lot of seafood restaurants are no longer carrying it because of that. There are a lot of
Well, you get
groups.
lobster at different places in New England. I mean, it's probably the best, but you get lobster in Florida.
Yeah, I know. I can't. I mean, Mexico has lobster.
Yeah,
I mean,
Langostino.
That's true. I remember every time we went to Cancun, well, we call it lobster. It's a big shrimp, but it's it's not really lobster. So,
You guys ever seen a whale? Like,
What's
Oh,
that?
hell yeah. I went
Like-
whale
Oh, yeah,
I
watching.
went whale
And then
watching.
Out San
It's
Diego.
not, like, for whatever reason lately, whale videos are all over my social media feed.
Really?
So like once you watch one,
What's going on?
Then
they probably.
but
if you click on it, you're screwed. Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking of animals, Cindy says flounder has chicken legs.
Oh my. Well, the man works out. It's all muscle down there. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Okay. I once dated a chick. And we're sitting on the couch watching TV, and I had shorts on, and she happened to look down. She goes, "You have the skinniest legs of any guy I've ever seen."
You don't have skinny legs.
Well, so I looked at her and said, "You know who else had skinny legs?" And she goes, "No." I
Jesus.
said, "Babe Ruth." Shut the. I don't.
He
I
had
have-
skinny legs.
I seriously have my grandmother's lower legs. Where my brother, he's huge. My brother's a big man. Could have played football. Has the skinniest legs, kind of like Flounder there. And I have my grandmother's big old fat
Yeah,
legs.
I'll be damned.
And I'm not anywhere near his size.
well, I don't know what
He
to tell
needed
you.
my legs, and I needed his.
Speaking of legs, this is an incredible transition. They have found a 31,000-year-old skeleton in a cave in Indonesia, in Borneo, that shows evidence of surgeons carefully amputating a leg and part of a foot and part of a leg. Wow. 31,000 years ago.
It's amazing. With flint.
Holy smokes!
Flint tools? What
Yeah,
did they
I
use?
guess. I don't know. Prehistoric forgers apparently knew enough about medicine to perform the surgery without fatal blood loss or infection. They could show by the tissue that the child was a child, had his limb amputated, went on to live for many more years as an amputee. 31,000 years ago. I didn't know that. I didn't know we had gone. I thought it was like 10 or 15 or 20. It's 31,000.
Yeah, I thought the Egyptians were
Holy
the ones who did that.
moly.
Yeah, well, I read a book, and I've told you about it before, The Wolf in the Den, which says that it was like 20,000 years ago is where we hooked up with dogs, where the dogs
Yeah.
became
Became
like our
pasteurized, what do you call it? Yeah.
symbiotic with us.
Yeah.
And it changed it made both species better.
Yeah.
The fact that we did that.
Absolutely. Oh, we would. Can you imagine fighting wild dogs every day of your life?
With the dogs were the protection and the warning that
Can you
allowed
imagine
us.
if they were not civilized? Can you imagine? Oh my God, there are trillions of them.
Well, the dingoes in Australia, they kill people.
The dingo.
They kill
Hey,
them.
dingo ate my baby.
Baby.
All right, hold on.
Dingo ate your baby.
Pete's going to tell us about bacon. We're going to talk about dogs and cats. We're going to talk about side hustles. Also, I have a couple of updates with you on music and Elvis. A couple of ways debut, and a way we changed America's name on this day in 1776. But first, Dead Crow Defense. You know, they're asking for it. If they're going to try to get your guns and your ammo, make sure you know how to get a hold of deadcrowdefense.com. Dead Crow Defense is not a gun store. It's your personal arms dealer. Dead Crow Defense has the ammo you're looking for at the prices you're looking for, and everybody else is going nuts and may not even have what you need. Dead Crow Defense has it and can get it for you, including hundreds of other calibers that nobody else can figure out. Available for custom orders. Dead Crow Defense. And it's not just guns and ammo. They have personal safety gear, self-defense gear, stuff like that. Look them up on the web, deadcrowdefense.com. If they have items in stock, they ship out the next day. Here's their phone number. If you need to give them a call, maybe make a special order on the phone, 678-576-9117, or get them an email. And again, the website is the same, but here's how you get them with an email, sales@deadcrowdefense.com. They have your personal arms dealer reach out to you and Figure out what you want, what you need, and how they can take care of your business. Make sure you use the promo code Kimmer when you check out, KIMMER, when you check out for 10% off your first several orders at deadcrowdefense.com, your arms dealer. Da-da-da. Now, what's this about bacon?
What are you doing Sunday, September 25th at 10 a.m.?
Eating bacon?
Well, you will be if you're in Elijah. It's the Elijah Bacon Fest.
Bacon Fest?
Yeah.
We should do a podcast there.
No,
I'm telling you.
What day of the week is it?
Sunday, September
Sunday?
25th. Look at those
Wow.
bacon. Look at that bacon. That's
I
bacon.
love bacon.
Who doesn't love bacon?
But I don't like it with too much fat still on. I kind of like it well done. I kind of like crispy, not real
I like it in the
hard
middle.
crispy,
I like
but
it in the middle.
I like
I don't
mine
like
a
too
little
much
on the
fat
crispy
on it.
side as well.
well, I just can't eat that fat anymore. If I have beef fat, I used to eat gristle. I used to eat beef, fried gristle on steaks.
Did you eat gizzards too?
Yeah, I used to eat
my
used to eat
God.
chicken livers, all that stuff. Not anymore.
Oh God. My uncle used to eat gizzards.
One
right
of
in
our
front
favorite
us.
Sunday breakfasts, when my mother would have us come down to Sunday breakfast, and she would have cooked English muffins, oatmeal, scrambled eggs, and chicken livers, perfectly cooked, to put on buttered English muffin. Oh, Sorry, go ahead. You were
Liver.
saying. Now, dogs and cats do something.
It's true that dogs are loyal,
Yeah.
but cats don't tell the police where you hide your drugs.
Over here, officer. It's in here. It's in here. It's in here.
No, they just kick it off the table there. All right, I found a job for us here.
Oh, good.
This
Thank
gentleman,
God.
Kristen, put this out on Twitter. There's a gentleman that has put an ad out, and it's called "Kick My Ass to Impress Your Girlfriend." Are you tired of your girlfriend thinking you're a effing P word? Well, for just a small fee, you can prove her wrong and show her how much of a badass you truly are. Just set up a time and location for me to come harass your girlfriend, and bam, you come in and rock my shit. If it's on weekdays, $50, weekends, $60.
Now I got to get a girlfriend. Cost me a lot more than $60. Been caught one of those stings down in Florida. You've heard from me.
Keith says, just replace the can of air freshener in the office bathroom with an air horn. Now we wait.
Now we see who comes out of the bathroom.
You imagine
The next
picking up
guy
the air
going in.
freshener.
Very
All right.
amusing.
There is a place. I'm trying to think where this place is. I think it's somewhere in the South. Doesn't say exactly. Virginia, Stafford, Virginia. Basically it's a restaurant called the Clubhouse.
Yeah,
And of course, September 11th is Sunday.
that's right.
Sunday.
9/11. Yeah,
9/11.
21 years.
Yeah, they have what they're calling Patriot Day Seafood Sunday, where you can order the 2977 chowder, you can order the first responder flatbread, the Pentagon pie,
No, please.
the Freedom flounder, 9/11 oysters, and you can wash it down with a Remember Teeny.
Oh, I'm not sure. I
Or
like
get it all for the Never Forget sampler. And people are going nuts about this. And they've
happy
had to-
nuts or bad nuts.
They've had to take it down.
I was going to say that's just wrong. I mean,
that's totally
go
correct.
ahead. You have the right to do it, but that's, you should get creamed on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's icky.
NASA has announced plans to put cattle in orbit to test the viability of orbiting ranches. It's expected to be the herd shot around the world.
The herd shot up. Hey,
see.
hi-oh. Hoo.
Okay. All right, here's the definition. Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Dave's not here.
Heaven is where the police are British, the chef's Italian, the mechanics German, the lovers French, and it's all organized by the Swiss.
Well, that could be paradise right there.
Hell
Yeah.
is where the police are German, the chef's British, the mechanics French, the lovers Swiss, and it's all organized by
Americans.
The Italians.
The
The
Italians.
Italians.
Yeah, there you go. Hello, cheerio. Can I steam you a steak or anything?
All right, finally, deep thoughts.
Boil you a roast beef?
I actually like British food because it's meat and potatoes.
Oh, I love roast beef, but I don't like
Shepherd's
it
pie.
boiled. You roast it. You don't boil it.
You know what the
boil a
you know what
roast
the
beef.
French, since Napoleonic time, called the British?
No.
Because the British call the French frogs.
Yeah.
They called the British roast beefs.
Really?
because all they do is eat roast beef.
I love the end cut on roast beef. If
love-
I ever
my
have a
mother
chance to
made
get the
great-
end cut of a roast beef,
My mother
I'll
made
take
great
it
roast
every
beef.
time.
She would marinate it with cheap Manischewitz wine or something
Well, there
like
you
that.
are. Yeah.
All right. If the voice in the back of your head is you,
Yeah.
who is the one listening to it?
Oh, wait a minute.
What if we are all still sleeping in kindergarten nap time?
What if we were all still sleeping in kindergarten?
By the way, I still have my mat. That
I
we
remember
had.
my favorite mat.
Red and blue mat.
I had
still
one
have it.
was kind of reddish, red and white.
You don't realize, and this will drive you crazy the rest of the day and weekend, you don't realize your toes are touching each other.
I don't want to think about it.
Now you'll be thinking about it. I'll tell you. The words "I'm dead" will never be true. I don't know about that. And "live" is actually evil backwards.
Oh, my. All right, well, hold everything. Birthdays. Hugh, by the way, the birthday list is kind of scrabbled today. I got two different versions, so they're either one or the other. Hugh Grant is either 62 or 63. Adam Sandler, 56 or 57. Rachel Hunter, I think, is 53. She was in a Rod Stewart video.
She married him.
Married him. Michael Bublé, the singer, 46.
How was the Rod Stewart show the other night, by the way?
I don't think I'll. I actually, it wasn't that.
backyard.
It wasn't that bad to get into my parking lot, as it turned out after all. And I never really heard. Sometimes I can hear the music, and sometimes I can't.
Somebody said it was a great show. He can still
I got.
do it.
Oh, in fact,
Still
I
got a set of
on
pipes,
my
man. He
phone.
can definitely.
Oh, I got here. In fact, I'll see if I can find this. I'm going to look for it quickly, and I won't spend a lot of time with it. But I got a note from when I was bitching about it. Here we go, from Kathy Paisano. I wonder if it's Craig Paisano. But anyway, Kathy Paisano says, "Hey Kimmer, thought you'd like to see this. Ha ha ha." And it's a photo of Rod Stewart on stage at that concert. And she said, "Ha ha ha. I was one of those folks clogging up your neighborhood. You missed a great concert. Hee hee," with smiley face things. And I said to Kathy back, "Always glad to see my Facebook friends have a good time." And it wasn't that bad after all. But Kathy actually took a picture and sent it to me of the Rod Stewart concert. So that was kind of cool.
I wonder if he did any of his old rockin' tunes with faces or anything.
I
All the
hate his
great rock.
his voice is like fingernails on a blackboard to me. I just hate it. I hate his hair.
Great songs,
I hate his
though.
look, and I hate it. I can't listen to this. His voice is really annoying. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't help it.
They overplayed Maggie May, though. They did.
Well, I know Maggie. That naughty little Michelle Williams is 42 today. Heath Ledger's widow, and their daughter Matilda Rose is 16 next month. Topol, the actor Fiddler on the Roof, 87 today.
I were a rich
Dee Dee Sharp, Mashed Potatoes. I used to love that song. Dee Dee
know,
Sharp is 76.
Most people a certain age don't remember Fiddler on the Roof. They remember him from Flash Gordon.
Really?
Flash.
Now, see, I don't remember Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Angela Cartwright, speaking of remembering, Angela Cartwright from the Danny Thomas Show years ago, and then Lost in Space.
Space, I
Angela Cartwright is 70 or 71. One of the two is correct. And she turned out to be something of a hottie.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
been in a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Henry Thomas, Elliot on E.T., the little boy, 51. And Joe Theismann is either 73 or 74. His name is Theismann, by the way. They changed it to Theismann, rhymes with Heisman. And that's a true story. His family did it when he was at Notre Dame the last year. They changed his pronunciation to Theismann. A couple of historical notes, musically speaking. This day, 1956, Elvis Presley makes his debut on the Ed Sullivan TV show, The Toast of the Town, 1956. I was watching. Our family was watching. The hip swivel was so provocative and made the girls all giggly and wiggly that he was shot only from the waist up. He sang "Don't Be Cruel," "Love Me Tender," and "Ready Teddy." 82% of the nation tuned in, which is unbelievably high ratings. And this is how the New York Times reported it. Quote, "When Elvis executes his bumps and grinds, it should be remembered by CBS that even a 12-year-old's curiosity might be overstimulated." 1965, the Rolling Stones hit #1 with "Can't Get No Satisfaction." Keith Richards was in a Florida hotel room when he recorded a rough version of the riff. He ran through it once and fell asleep. Keith Richards said the next morning he listened to it and played it back. there was 2 minutes of acoustic guitar and then, quote, me snoring for the next 40 minutes. Because he just fell in. But that was, I can't get
And he
no
heard that and he
satisfaction.
went, holy cow, that's
Yeah,
pretty
that
good.
was a good one. Also, 1965, same day, the Hollywood Reporter newspaper ran the following ad, quote, madness, folk and roll musicians, I think they might have been rock and roll, folk and roll musicians and singers wanted for acting roles in new TV show Parts for 4 Insane Boys. Unquote. With that, the Monkees were born.
And now it's just, hey, hey, we're the monkey.
We're the monkey. One left. 437 people showed up for the job.
Do you see if Mickey Dolenz is actually suing the
Suing,
FBI?
yeah.
For they spied on the monkeys.
Yeah. And he wants to get his freedom of information stuff and to, I guess, correct what they might have. I don't know what they said about him.
Well, I read somewhere that nobody that came to those tryouts were hired. That pretty much it was an inside thing. They already knew who
Yeah.
they were going to get.
Yeah. But again, it was a TV series, not a singing group that was that began it. The reason they had it was not. It wasn't a group that became TV stars. They were looking for a TV show.
Yeah.
We need 4 singers, and they got 4 guys and made them the Monkees. And we're
And
huge.
at first, they had Boyd and whatever the guy's name, Boyce and something writing the songs.
Tommy
and stuff,
Boyce,
Where, but by the end of it, they could pretty much play their own instruments.
Yeah.
They were.
They became. I think they did become musicians.
Nesmith was a good songwriter
Yeah.
too.
1971, Attica. Al Pacino led a revolt against the Attica prison riot in New York City, ladies and gentlemen. Took control of 39 guards and staff as hostages. 4 days later, the siege was over. 10 hostages and 29 cons were dead. And of course, Al Pacino was in the movie where he screamed
Day
Attica outside
Afternoon.
the long day, dog day afternoon. 1776. The Second Continental Congress changes our name. We went from United Colonies to the United States of America. 1991, an Indianapolis grand jury indicts Mike Tyson for raping beauty queen Desiree Washington. 1942, on this day, a Japanese plane launched from a submarine off the coast of Oregon dropped 2 firebombs in a failed attempt to start a massive forest fire. It was the first time a foreign power had bombed the American mainland. World War II, 1942. And 1997, the Sony PlayStation is released in America.
Yes, sir.
On this day. Anyway,
All right, Bad Text Theater time.
Bad Text Theater.
Let's do the one about the woman wanting her husband to go to the store and get him something.
Well, that pretty much was it.
It's the one under the Dracula one, which is a little, I think, too risque for our audience. The second Dracula one that we're doing. They never did say whether they dug up that Polish woman that had the scythe over her neck.
Oh,
whether they-
I know. I'd love to find out whether
I'd leave that scythe right there.
I wouldn't move anything. I'd move. I've had my memory erased. I mean, really, it hypnotized me to forget the whole thing.
Like Harry.
I know.
Did you find it?
Yep.
All right. Are you the woman or the man?
I'll be the woman.
All right. She's texting him to get something from the store. Okay.
All right.
Please bring home purified water with no minerals added for taste. None.
I got spring water
Not.
with extra minerals. It's like licking a stalagmite.
Don't come home.
Cave water. Okay, he doesn't get it. All right, let's go to the next
I
one here.
didn't get that at all.
All right, it's first guy, second guy.
Maybe because I can't hear anything.
Which one are you going to be?
I'll be second guy.
All right, I'm the first guy. What generation does Forrest Gump belong to?
Gen A.
Janae. I love it. All right. God bless America.
I didn't get it at first, and then I had to say it out loud.
There you go. You have to say it out loud. Anyway, September 11th is anniversary is on Sunday, and so just think the thoughts we need to think. We just need to keep going, America. And boys, any weekend plans of important or interest?
Football.
Football. And,
Football,
by the way,
football.
and we should get a whole bunch of game. We should get them all right.
What do you mean?
On Sunday, football games, right? And Monday Night Football, and then back to the schedule, right?
You may have to start looking around. The Falcons is on Fox 5 at 1 o'clock, like
Are
always.
they doing streaming crap on like
It's
the
gonna be
NFL
some
channel or
like
something?
tonight on Friday nights. You can't watch a baseball game unless you have Apple TV.
Yeah, that's the other. What kind of crap is that, by the way?
But you know what? It's almost like a respite because you're watching it every night, and there's one night where you go, okay, I need a break, you know?
Yeah, well,
Even though they've had 2 nights off this week already.
yeah, it's not good. All right, boys, Flounder, have a good one. Thank you, as always, hospitality, Pete, and everything. And I gotta go. You're killing me. Look out, Semper Fi, hoorah! We'll see you again on